What's up, everyone?
Hello, hello.
It's Wednesday, not Tuesday, which is different for a change. Actually, I was talking to Tony on the phone today, and he's like, "Yeah, I was in the stream last night, and I was wondering, and then I realized it was Wednesday instead of Tuesday." I was like, "Yeah, I had to reschedule." All right,
It's
About
Bob's
getting
fault.
everybody all jacked around as
it is
usual.
Yeah.
Bob's. It is Bob's fault. Yes, that is correct. I failed. I failed the city. I'm sorry, Joe. Please forgive me.
We'll
Uh,
let it slide this time.
yeah, just the one time though. So y'all were able to watch it.
Yep.
Yes.
Joe, you watched a couple weeks ago. Nikki, like 2 nights or 3 nights ago.
I watched it during chemo infusion on Monday.
Okay.
There we go.
And I know Ellie and Anthony watched it, and I saw Ellie's review. I want to see if Anthony wrote a review because sometimes he writes his after Ellie. So, anyways, I was very happy to see that they were able to watch it. They got the movie in, they watched it, and yeah, so that was cool. And let's see here. Yeah, Anthony rated it too. He watched it. Awesome. Yeah, yeah. All right, that's everything as far as
Sorry.
that goes. I don't know why I said that's everything, but anyways, Nikki, how's everything going?
Everything's going really well.
Really well.
I've had 12 of the new treatments and 3 of the new chemos. My hair's starting to grow back a little bit. It's kind of all white, so it's like you can't really tell, but I can feel it and I can tell, so I'm good. I had really good news from the doctor the other day. I should be in remission based on the fact that how much the tumor has shrank. It was tennis ball size. Now they can't see it on a visual look. So based on all that and based on the amount of shrinkage we've had, they're looking for me to be in remission by June or July.
Nice. Nicely done.
All good news.
Very good news. Very good.
Good to hear.
And Joe, have you put any more consideration into cutting your hair?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Well, since that's not happening, what else is new with you since you're not cutting your hair?
He could rock the man bun.
No. I'm not going
come
to do
on,
that
Joe,
either.
just for one stream.
No. No.
Just
Won't
for
happen.
one stream. What about a ponytail?
No. Still no.
What about braids? Can you put them in braids?
I know how to braid. I braid my son's hair sometimes just to make him laugh, but
Can you please
no.
put your hair in pigtails?
No. I'm not Pippi Longstocking it.
Oh god.
Joe said he has a borderline there. Don't cross it.
Yeah.
Joe, you know who you look like? This is gonna be insulting. Is the dude with the cult from back in like the 70s, like Charlie? Help me out here. Come on, one of you two knows this.
Charlie Manson.
Charlie Manson. Yes.
I thought you were gonna say the motorcycle rider at the beginning of 48. Is it? No, another 48 hours. The guy who shoots up the bus. Yep, the brother.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What are we?
Yeah,
doing?
you do kind of remind me of it.
48
no.
Another 48
James
hours.
Remar plays
the
guy
one
that's
with Eddie
with me,
Murphy. That one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You know
another 48 hours. The second guy, the brother.
You could also pass for. I think it's Kid Rock and Biker Boys.
No.
His hair's not light enough.
In Biker
No.
Boys.
I'm not blonde.
Your hair is darker, but as far as the long hair and the beard, never mind. Okay, anyways, we could just keep going on about who.
That's it. You're fired.
My husband used to have hair that long, Joe. When I first got with him,
I'm gonna go with Charles.
There's pictures on my Facebook of us with his long hair.
You look most like Charles Manson, man.
I'll take that.
Yeah, Charles Manson's probably the one that I think you most look like.
Well, at least he was a genius.
Yeah, and he wrote a song for the Beach Boys.
Hmm. I mean, he might have been an evil maniacal genius, but he was a genius nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have like a cult or anything, do you, Joe?
No.
No.
Bob,
cult.
we're it.
We're the- okay, I'm gonna catch up with the chat. I'm gonna read the chat, see who's here. We've got
Say
Prince
hello to
saying
our
the
friends.
Furious out May friggin' 29th. Don't you forget it. All right, I'm out of here early. My movie schedule tight and stacked. So I must bid adieu, for I am Prince Dreamwalker and I approve this message. What's up, Prince? Just testing my closing remarks for the channel. I'm ready to take over the world. Have a good night. Yeah, he sent me a new movie that's coming out, so that looks fun. Johnny, that looks like
Hey,
a new.
Johnny.
Is that old or is that a new logo for him right there? Is that
It's
like
new.
That's a new one.
it's new, right? Yeah, I thought so.
Mhm.
See, I pay attention to you, Johnny, every once in a while. We've got Tony in the chat saying hi, Uncle Tony. Miss
Hey,
Jessica
Uncle
in the
Tony.
chat saying have a good live stream. Thank you, appreciate it for being here. Caprice is here. Hey, chat. Hello, panel. Caprice, I hope you're doing well. Hopefully, the triplets are going well and life is well and you're doing well, and so is the husband.
Busy.
Jeff says good evening. What's up, y'all? Anthony's in the chat. Draculina Horror says hi, Tony. We've got Becca saying hello, hello. What's up,
Hello.
Becca?
Hello.
Becca. Yeah, I watched a movie with her last night. My dad and Becca I watched a movie with. Probably my two favorite people and my two favorite people to watch movies with. So it was like a dream come true last night to watch a movie with them. That was pretty cool. Hi everyone. Have a great live stream. Another hard subject to pair with loneliness. Hope everyone is well.
Hi,
Yeah.
Marie.
And hi everyone. I got out of work a little early tonight, so I made it home just in time for the stream. So speaking of,
Hey,
I'm going to
girl.
run a little tangent again, as I always do, about Allie and Anthony. But the fact that Allie and Anthony went so out of their way to watch this movie to prepare for the live stream, I think I was telling Becca this after our last live stream. I was like, it means a lot to me that you guys kind of have to. It's like your homework. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, we don't have one.
The fact that Ellie and Anthony wanted to get the movie so that they can talk about it with us in the chat, it genuinely means a lot to me, because you don't have to. Like, there's no rule. You could just hang out in the chat. You could just talk. You don't have to watch the movie, but it means a lot that they want to come like prepared and be able to talk about it. It genuinely means a lot. Like, yeah. So Johnny says, "What's up, Marie?" Johnny, did you watch the movie? If not, get on Anthony and Allie's level. Caprice says Johnny's gonna beat me next weekend. We're leaving for Tennessee next weekend. I get to see Johnny again, and
Nice.
Tony, and April, and Jeff, and Bree, and Jody, and Becca's coming. It's gonna be a good time. Remission is my birthday wish this year, and it sounds like
Mine for you too, Bubba. Mine for you too.
he's gonna get that wish. Hopefully, it sounds like it. Adrian says, "Hey, Bobby Blue. What's up, Jeff? What's up, Adrian? Thank you, Bob, for asking about his hair or face." Johnny says, "It's all of our birthday wishes this year, Jeff. It's all of our birthday wishes."
Thank you guys so much.
Yo, Adrian. Of course, Nikki. We all love you.
I love
Charlie
you back.
Manson. Yeah. Charles Manson. Yep. Charles Manson. Bob sounds like Marie about Joe's hair. So Marie doesn't like the hair either, Joe.
No.
She wants to see his face.
Johnny, Joe knows I just like to pick on him. I just like
It's like I told Marie. I've had long hair longer than I've ever had short hair.
Charlie Gans is what his name is in another 48 hours.
Cherry
Yeah.
man.
I think Bob has hair envy.
Yeah.
Okay. No, you know what's funny is when I was a kid, like my first time getting a haircut on my own or whatever, or like, I don't know. Anyways, when my mom took me to the barbershop, they're like, "How do you want your haircut?" I was like my dad's. And they're like, "How is that?" It was bald like my dad's. And I was like a kid. I always wanted to be bald. I wish my hair didn't grow back so I didn't even have to shave it. It's so different. But I still love Joe, despite having way more hair than I do and pretty silky smooth hair. It's not my thing, but I love Joe to death.
Well, it's because Joe takes very good care of his hair.
Mm-hmm.
It's similar to my son. My son, since he's been born, he came out with a full head of hair, and his hair is longer than mine, and that's all he knows. Me, I had my hair long when I was 2, all the way up until I was 32, when I finally called it 30 years later, and it was down to my waist at the time. I could tuck it in my back pocket, and then I started growing it back. I only stayed probably like 10 years without with short hair.
Crazy.
And the only reason I cut it was because of my job, but my job don't care anymore just because I've been there over 30 years.
So Joe can connect his hair to his butt hair. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why anytime I ever cut mine real short, it was always because I was tucking it in with my shirt to go to work. And I'm like, no, can't do that. I work in food,
Yeah.
So
That's wild.
Yeah, when you sit on the toilet and you have to put it in front so it doesn't fall in the toilet behind you.
We got Holland Oates in the chat as well. It's saying, hey, pal. Let's see here. 2 favorite people to watch a movie with. Johnny's telling April he can't tell a trip to Tennessee now. You know what? Johnny and Tony almost fell asleep during the movie we watched in Tennessee last year. It's because they didn't like it. It sucked. We're gonna knock back so many monsters. Yeah, I'm planning on buying a case. Did your dad really enjoy Housemaid? He did like Housemaid. Actually, at the end of Housemaid, he was like, "What?" He's like, "That was that was a wild movie. That was pretty disturbing." And I was like,
I was gonna say, me and Marie watched it last week, and I gave that movie 4.5 stars. Me and Marie both loved it.
"Yeah,
I thought it was so good."
Watched, I gave it 4.5. I gave it 4 last night. On a rewatch, especially only being like 4 months later, it was a little slow. But like my first time watching it, I had a total blast with it, like not knowing the twists and turns and what was going to.
I thought the same. Like I said, when I went into that movie, I thought it was going to be like Obsessed or Chloe, and there was nothing like that. And because of that, it bumped it up a 0.5 star.
Yeah, it was fun. My dad was into it, and then afterwards, it's like 2 a.m, and he goes, "I kind of want to watch a comedy after that one." And I was like, "I'm the one getting older. My dad's 67 and he wants to watch another movie at 2 a.m, and I'm like, it's time for bed, man." Like, what is happening to me? Did your dad? Yes, he did. It's okay. The hair, not my bag though. I just meant give me when he had short hair. BD. Drink Red Bulls. That shit gives you wings. I hate Red Bull, man. I think it tastes terrible. But Johnny, it's so funny. And was looking for a relationship. Okay. What's up, Johnny, Marie, Jeff, Uncle Tony, Adrian, Jess, Mr. Oates, Bex, Prince, Caprice. The chat is amazing. The panel is badass. Look at that. Anthony got everyone. He knocked them out right there. That was pretty impressive. It's so cool that Bob has the last name of the Matrix. Shall I say Mr. Anderson? You know, I've never seen the Matrix.
What?
I'm serious. I'm serious.
You gonna make us watch these kind of movies and you ain't watched The Matrix?
I saw the Matrix I saw it in theaters.
Me
and
too,
I don't go to the
them.
movie theaters, and I saw that in theaters.
The only one I haven't seen is the most recent, but I've seen
that one is awful.
Like 3. Yeah, see, that's what I heard, but I mean, I'm gonna watch it eventually. But the first 3,
I like the I like the first 3. The fourth one should have never happened.
Right.
Yeah. No.
You gotta watch
plenty of story, and it was done.
I was
going to say, I understand why Bob hasn't watched The Matrix, because he doesn't like sci-fi, because I've been nagging him about Harry Potter.
I've also
I've never seen the Harry Potters, and I'm a book reader, and I've never read any of the books. I've never seen any of the movies. My kids,
I've never seen.
It's one of those things where if something comes out and it's so hyped before it makes it out, I can't. I'm not interested. No, and I've never done the Harry Potters.
I've never seen Johnny's favorite movie, which was Bound with Gina Gershon. I've never
really.
Seen
That's a great movie.
I've never seen that one either.
And Jennifer Tilly.
Yep, never seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know
I used to have that on the VHS.
4K treatment. Bob, one last thing. If this is your birthday gift in advance for next week, 15th, I'll take it. Love you. Love you too, Prince. I never saw Harry Potter and Matrix till I met Joe.
Yeah.
Did you take the red pill or the blue pill, Marie? I do know about that though, at least Matrix. All right. So let's talk Journeyman. What'd you guys think?
What I thought of the film, I enjoyed it. The only thing, and maybe I missed it because I asked Marie after. I'm like, I didn't hear nothing about it, and then she didn't hear it either. But when he fell and he had his surgery, what actually happened to him? Did it just come down to the hits that he had in the boxing ring?
I think he had a seizure or a stroke.
Well,
Okay.
or an
I thought it was
aneurysm or
maybe
something.
I thought it was like a blood clot or something, but they never
Right.
they never
They don't
said
tell.
they never explained what actually happened to him.
I
And-
thought it was stroke because he was. It looked like he was stroking out or having a seizure when she came out after making the tea for him.
Yeah.
And then the surgery in the top of the head. And I know, like my uncle, he had a stroke, and he's in a wheelchair now, and it's been
But
there.
a lot of times when you have a stroke, that because it's not similar to a heart attack, usually a stroke affects the right side of your body. That it starts the first things that start to happen is you get the droop and all that. And
not
he did.
every stroke affects people that way, but the brain surgery itself wouldn't necessarily. It made me think more of a blood clot or an embolism or something like that, or a aneurysm that busted or something like that.
Yeah, it could
Just
be.
because he didn't come with all the droop and everything afterwards.
No, and they showed. I can't remember if it was right after or maybe 10 to 15 minutes later, how they showed him when he got hit and he fell to the ring, like he was going to get the 10 count. And I'm not sure if that one, him getting hit to the head and then that one hit to the mat, like triggered something in his brain. I actually thought it was like he was bleeding from the brain.
Right.
And from all the hits and then the hit to the mat. But that's the only thing that really bothered me about that film is I wish I would have known exactly what happened.
And they didn't really give you a timeline on how long after the fight that it happened either.
Well, the stroke or the aneurysm or whatever happened that night.
It happened
Was
the same
it the
night.
same night?
Because
it was the same night.
He came home and he was on the couch, and she gave him a hug, and he was like, "I won," and she was like,
showed the belt and everything.
Yeah, are you happy that now you feel like a real champion? Versus like how he won it via default or whatever forfeit. But yeah, so it was that night. How long he was in the hospital and surgery, I don't know for sure. But
No.
It's almost like CTE in like football, where it doesn't even have to be one specific hit. It could just be hits over a course of a lifetime. With boxers,
Right.
my dad boxed, and so sometimes it wasn't just like I wanted to box. I liked to, and my dad didn't want me to. He's like, "Why do you want to take hits? Like, why do you want to get hit in the head? You want to get hit in the head for a living? Come on!" And it's one of those things where sometimes it's just hit after hit over a course of a lifetime, or in a course of a couple years with him. It could be. Tony saw one.
Yeah, because it didn't really say his history of how long he was boxing for or anything like that. All it pretty much when it pretty much started, it just everything was about him being a fake champion, but it never said of like what his history was with actual wrestling. I mean, not wrestling,
And
boxing.
Joe, you could be right. It could have been when he hit the ground. It could have been from that fight. So we've all seen boxing movies where they're like, you need to stop. You can't box anymore because if you take another hit to the head, this could end up like this. And so it could have been where it was one of those things where he had taken so many hits, and then this was the final straw. Maybe.
Yeah, because because the guy that he fought felt sorry for, doing that to him. And he's like, I don't, I'm not going to.
Blame you. Which is probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie is when the guy he fought comes to him and
To his house.
it's
Yeah.
so humbling.
Yeah, because in the beginning I was hateful towards that dude. I was like, oh,
it's so
But,
humbling, and he shows such humility doing that, and it's heartbreaking. And you realize that, like when I watched this with Becca, I was telling her like, no matter what, even in boxing in particular, UFC as well, sports in general. And don't get me wrong, some of them are competitive, like you see pitchers and batters charging the mound with each other and all that stuff. But ultimately, for the most part, just because you're competing, yes, you're competing in the heart of that moment, and brothers compete against each other, as we saw with Warrior and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You're still not trying to kill your opponent. Like
No.
Right.
Boxing, it's both a living that you are your career. And I think at the end of the day, you're not actually, at least most of them, I don't think you're trying to put a guy in a coma or.
Well, he's when the guy showed up at his house, to talk to him and apologize for what happened, he said the way he acted during the fight, he says, I play a bad guy. I want to be hated. And he says it's just my gimmick. That that's not how he really is in real life. But he likes to put on a show for his fans.
It is entertainment. It's all
Yeah.
entertainment. These guys are entertainers, A
Yeah.
boxer is
Well, the sad part about it is now that you have things like MMA and all that, the extra, boxing became something lesser, I think, as far as
It's
like
not as big.
how many
It's not
people
as
watch the sport.
It's
Back
not
in
as
the
big as
80s,
it used to be.
yeah, and like back in the 80s, the fights before Tyson. Okay, let me rephrase this. Before Tyson, my dad was a boxing watcher, so we watched it, and you had body blows. You had like they went for their points. They fought the fight. But they didn't, like, the headshots were the extra. And so you had fights that lasted 9, 10 rounds. You had draws. You had, and it was an
Bad decision.
entertainment back then. Right. And now that once Mike Tyson came along and you couldn't even get your pay-per-view that you paid for to unscramble before he knocked a dude to his ass, fight over, it's become worthless. Now they've got the MMA, try to make it a little more gruesome, a little more, whatever, but it's unnecessary to beat people in the head. It really is. It just is.
Yeah, I remember in the 90s that pay-per-view actually had to change for Tyson fights, that they used to charge you a certain amount for the whole fight.
Yep.
And then they started changing it that depending on how many rounds it went, you paid a certain amount. Just because he was knocking out people before the first round, and people felt like it was unfair paying $80 for a Tyson fight that lasted 10 minutes.
I mean, what was the one where it was like, I want to say it was Sugar Ray Leonard, but I could be mistaken, and it was like a 12-second fight.
That was
you know who I'm talking about.
I think it was when he fought Frazier.
Okay, Joe Frazier. Okay, that might be
Yeah.
right. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and it's not that's when I just lost all respect for that,
Yeah.
I like sports that challenge the individual, so I always enjoyed boxing growing up. But I mean, I'd rather watch ice skating just for the pure and simple fact of what they put their body through. Now that's an athlete.
Mhm.
And they're only, I mean, yeah, you're competing against other people, but you're really competing against yourself.
Ice skating, it makes me think of that scene in Blades of Glory when he's doing the scene where you like spin your foot in the air and he cuts his head off the dummy's head. But ice skating blows my mind because those blades are so sharp and they're spinning their blades near somebody's head, their partner's head, and you hardly ever see accidents much in professional ice skating or figure skating, and it's impressive what they do. It is impressive. It's not my necessarily forte.
It's just their strength that impresses me.
Yeah, it's so dangerous, but
Mhm.
they make it look so effortless. But all professional athletes do. So,
Yeah.
back in my day, way back when, 40 years ago, I was thinking about being a professional figure skater, but it didn't work out. Joe just shaking
Horrible.
his head over there.
Hockey player, Bob. Hockey player.
Shut up, Joe. Shut up. No, I was going to be one of those professional male figure skaters like Scott Hamilton.
Brian Boitano.
Nick, you know who Scott Hamilton is. Come on.
I do. I do.
Johnny says, okay, I never said Bound was my favorite, but it is a damn good film, though. Both. Haha. Both pills, she says. Let's see here. Adrian, I can't get this stupid mouse here. My mom's birthday is April 15th. She would have been 83. I still miss her today. And sorry for your, sorry.
Sorry.
And Tony says it will never be the same, Adrian.
Yeah.
Soulless Trenchcoat says, hey, what's up? Fights used to be more
Trenchy.
cool. Hey, Blues. The Black Lotus and Blades of Glory. LOL. Yeah, I knew Anthony would say something about it. I like pro wrestling because it's physical, but people working to tell a story in a stunt show presentation, but a lot of it's gone off the rails now. Yeah, it's scripted. I mean, that's what everybody talks about. It's fake, but it's still impressive. Like, wrestlers are great athletes, and they're
Yeah.
good players. No, it's called the Iron Lotus. Not Black. Did he say Black Lotus? My bad. Yeah, Anthony, get it right, man. It's good stuff. Good stuff. I just love that scene when he cuts the dummy thing head off. So funny. Anyways, yeah.
But I really enjoyed the film. I thought it was good. I thought it was well told. I thought the main actor did a great job.
Patty Constantine. He's the director.
Yeah. Yeah, he directed and wrote it.
Yeah.
He directed.
It's all him.
Yeah, and he also directed the one you picked, which Hippopotamus or whatever it was.
Yeah, no, Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah, Tyrannosaurus, which was also good, a lot slower. Well, this was also very slow too, though. But
yeah,
I love the story.
But it kept you watching.
Yeah, for sure. Can we talk?
Because it's not that long, so even slow, it still didn't drag.
I don't mind slow films as long as it keeps you watching.
They just got to keep you captivated. Yeah, give me a reason to keep watching and interested. So Becca has kids. Nikki, you have children as well, and Joe, you have kids. I do not. The scene where we find out he is not going to be the same. He's got a set of problems. She goes from having one baby in the house and having a father to help to having to take care of now 2 children.
Correct.
Because it's tough. And Nikki, we talked about this briefly on the phone today. You said you love a good supportive woman, wife. You love a good, tough, strong, supportive wife who supports her man. And she did. She did her very best in the movie. I love her character, by the way. And I thought, gosh, Ellie, help me out on this, who the woman was that played her. I thought she was incredible. She's the best part of the movie, in my opinion. Her acting was remarkable. But she
was from Attack on Titan.
At what point do you your baby ends up in a washing machine, not started, or a dryer, not started, but you can't leave the baby with him for 5 minutes. He's hitting you, throwing glass. You don't know what he's gonna do, and it's unfortunate. But I was talking with Nikki, she is so strong and so supportive. But at what point do you say to yourself, what point do you leave for the protection of the baby too, right?
I mean, at the point she left is when she should have.
Yeah, I agree.
And the protection had to happen, but it's probably different for everybody in the situation. I mean,
yes,
Jody,
thank you, Allie. Thank you.
I would say everybody has a breaking point of what's too much.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people would have left when he hit her. The glass, I don't, you know, most people probably would have stayed, but the baby in the dryer was most people's tipping point because, like she said, you can't, you literally can't walk away from him because you don't know what he's going to do
Mm-mm.
Right.
because he's not in his right mind.
And that smack was like, I forgot even watching it a second time how bad her face was from that.
Right.
Like it
Yeah,
was swollen and bruised
two
and
black eyes.
yeah, and colored. And I just, like Allie said, I felt for her character. Her character was it, yeah, you just feel for her character for sure. And Anthony says he slapped the brakes off her when she wouldn't give him naughty time again.
Yeah,
Yeah. Uh, baby in the dryer is a phrase I did not expect to hear this season. Tony, you've seen the movie, you know that. And I'm going to rat Tony out here. But when I talked to Tony about the movie, because I recommended it to Tony right after I saw it and he bought it, Tony was mentioning how, and I hope Tony doesn't get mad at me for saying this, but like she obviously had sex with him for the first time again since his
yeah,
Drake, whatever it was.
Right.
And then you could see something flip in his head where he's like, that's all he wants, sex now again and again.
yeah,
And Tony's like, that might have been a problem that she allowed that for him so quickly. And then that's all he ended up wanting, you know, and
Right.
yeah,
that he got upset. It was like, in a way, it felt like a toddler not understanding the word no.
mhm,
With him, it was like, no, I don't want to. Two people have to want to have sex together. Like you can't be
Right.
the only one to want to. I have to as well. And it was like his brain couldn't comprehend
mhm.
no, like being told no, I can't get something I want.
I
Yeah.
agree.
I can't even imagine like not having missing the understanding and missing the point of everyday life. And
Mhm.
so that's the piece to me that it felt like he lost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he just didn't know how to it, like Ellie said right here, when he hit her, I was like, this movie's going dark. Then the baby in the
Yeah.
dryer scene happened. Yeah. And when I first saw it, I was fighting back tears the entire last hour of this movie the first time I saw it. It's funny
I-
because I told Becca it's very depressing, and we watched it, and she was like, "It wasn't that bad." She's like, "I thought it was gonna be worse. It kind of has a happy ending," and I was like, "Oh, I could find more depressing if you'd like that." And she's like, "No, this was fine."
I got choked up with the speech at the end.
Oh man, so
Yeah.
good, so good, because you see him right there. I love when he says, I don't hate boxing because of what happened to me.
And he doesn't blame boxing for it.
Yes, I don't blame boxing. I love it. I love the sport. Like I
Mhm.
love that. I love that entire. I love the speech, and I love what he when he addresses his opponent very quickly in the speech and talks to him and says, you know, what a good man he is and all that stuff, and how he doesn't blame him or boxing, like you said, and
Mhm.
yeah. That was a good speech. I got, yep, it choked up there too. And then his wife
Yeah,
for him.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think the place where I got choked up the most was when he asked her where his friends were, and she told him that was a real good question. that broke me a little bit. I've been in a place for a few months now where that hit me close.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. That was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And then he comes and sees him in the van, and he's like, "Can I talk to him?" He's like, "He's right there. Roll down the window or open the door and
Yeah.
talk." You could see the anger in her for them not seeing her, for them not.
Yeah.
And it's his trainer, his corner man,
Yeah. His trainer, his cornerman, that were both really good friends for him.
and his coach,
But
and they're not there.
but you could tell when he came up to the van that because of what happened, I don't think he knew how to react to it. And I think sometimes once a long period of time goes by, sometimes it's harder to reach out and it's easier to walk away because you
Right.
get embarrassed for how much time passed and you let it go. Even though you want to see that person, sometimes you're better off walking away than trying to reach out to that person because sometimes that embarrassment is just too much for you
Right.
that you let things slip away.
Yeah.
Because things like that has happened to me when I was younger. I had a lot of good friends, and sometimes, with life, things happen, and you think about that person. You're like, I feel like reaching out, but then you feel like too much time has gone by, and you're like, it's better off I don't. You know.
I have friends, Joe. I hear you on that. I have a couple friends, even that I used to keep in touch with from this community, if you want, and I wish nothing but the best for them, and I hope they're doing well. But I also sometimes think, like, for me, sometimes it was best for me to move on as well, and like for us to
Yeah.
separate and go our own separate ways, I guess. And sometimes
Mhm.
that's just, but it doesn't mean I don't wish the best for them or hope they're doing well.
Yeah,
Right.
and I think that's what happened with both of them is because of what everything that happened to them. They didn't know how to react to it, to be around them, and they just stayed away. And I think after a while, it was easier for them to stay away than to be close to it because they didn't know really how to react to it.
I feel like I'm not great in crisis, and what I mean by that is like emotion, crying, like if somebody loses somebody, like I don't, what are you supposed to do or say? You're sorry? Like that's all you can say. What do you really do, No matter how close or not close the person you are, you know what I mean? Like I always think to myself, I'm like, because I'm used to responding. Like some people just need you to listen and be there. I'm the type
Hmm.
of person when I'm hurting, I want feedback. I want, and some people don't. And so I'm always trying to figure out like what this person wants in that moment. Do they just want to be held? Do they want to be heard? Do they want feedback? Do they want you to talk? Do they just want to talk themselves or do they just want to sit in silence? And it's
Yeah,
understand those emotions from anybody. Like what
yeah,
in that exact moment.
yeah. Because I was gonna say I'm not the greatest with that, just because I'm not gonna say I'm very cold with things, but me, because I deal with things on my own. When somebody's hurting around me because of a death or anything like that, just because I kind of just shut that stuff away myself. I don't know how to react a lot of times when people are have that issue because all I can say is, I'm sorry for your loss, but I don't really know what to do because I don't deal well with that. So it's just like sometimes it's hard to translate it for somebody else when you don't really deal with it yourself, if that makes any kind of weird sense.
No,
No,
it
it's
makes
right.
perfect sense, but that also makes you a good listener. And like Bob said, sometimes people just need to be heard, not reacted to.
Yeah.
I think that's my problem is I oftentimes do feel like I need to react or have the solution. I'll give an example really quick. And Nikki, we've talked about this before, and you talk about how you're, in a lot of ways, you and Becca are pretty similar. Sometimes with like emotions, and
Right.
so when I first started dating Becca, she told me like for her, when she's feeling emotional, like a big thing is she just wants to be heard and like to be held and you were like, you told me on the phone one day, you were like, then just hold her, Bob. You were like, it's that simple.
I
And,
mean, she gave you her answer.
and so, um, and as men, we can be stupid, but sometimes I feel like I want to fix something. And Becca will oftentimes, when she's going through something or emotional in a moment, she'll say, I don't like, she'll start it with, I don't need solutions right now. I just need to
Right.
vent. And I'm like, she knows me well enough to know that I'm guilty of trying to fix everything. And so she'll start a conversation by saying, I just need to talk right now. I don't need solutions. And I think for me, I need that. And she knows that because I don't know what she needs. And so by her telling me, I'm like, okay, shut up, Bob, for once. Like, keep silent. I know you're gonna want to try to fix it, but you can't. Just she doesn't want that right now.
That goes back to what I've told you before. The only thing, and I even said this to someone else today on a piece of advice, the only thing that you have to remember is your approach and your reaction are your only things you're in control of. So if she approaches you openly saying, all I need is a listener, reaction is not necessary.
Yeah. It comes as far as reaction goes, it comes down to if you're arguing or something like that too, how you react to that, being quick, it's a Bible verse, but like being quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry,
Right.
which I'm so guilty of because I'm quick to become angry, quick to speak, and slow to become slow to listen. I think I'm good at listening, but I'm very quick to anger and quick to speak. I'm quick to do all the things.
We'll just buy you a muzzle.
So it's just one of those things, but I'm trying, I'm growing, I think, like I said to you today on the phone, it's about progress, it's understanding, like it's making progress.
Have you ever seen the movie What About Bob?
Yeah, one time,
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Long time ago. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Rewatch that one with her and her kids.
Oh yeah, that would be a fun one.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Actually, the other one that only has a DVD, no Blu-ray. Joe, where's the Blu-ray?
On Stinky Tuna.
Let's see.
As soon as Johnny and Jeff have a copy of What About Bob on DVD, then we'll get a Blu-ray.
Yeah, the scene that got me teary-eyed was when his wife was laying next to him in bed, asking where he was and asking him to come back to her.
Oh, when he was sleeping.
Mm-hmm. Or when she told him, "What else are you but my burden?"
And I can't even the scene on the phone get to me too when she's her mom's are in a hotel, whatever she is, and he calls her and he's like, when you coming home, can you please come home?
Yeah, I'm doing better.
And I'm doing better. Can you come home? I miss you. I love you. And she's like, soon. Like, I know. I love you too. And man, this movie was.
And even after she left and she, just responded to the phone calls, I still felt like you said, when do you leave? But when do you give up is the other question, because she didn't really. She still was
She
keeping
just needed
him.
a break.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
she needed to be safe until he was safe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's only so much you can do, I think, in that.
Yeah, because after all that happened and she left, I kind of was angry at her for the only reason of she just left and drove off and just left him there. And it's like, he's literally the brain of a child. And it's pretty much like leaving a 7-year-old kid in the house by himself that he could set the house on fire and die in it. And he got lucky that his corner guy and his trainer showed up to help him. Yeah. But because she just left him there and didn't even look back.
But in the timing of that also made me feel like he had asked, where are my friends? And when she decided to leave, she probably contacted them, was the vibe I got off of how that played out.
But I hear you, Nikki, but he ended up showing up at the gym and the guy looked completely shocked to see him, like he was going to show
up. Because when he left the house and he jumped into the water and then he showed up there all disheveled because that was the only place he knew where to go.
That the water thing, when he says to her on the phone too, like, I saw you and her in the water. Like, can you let her know you saw her? I saw her in the water in the lake. It's heartbreaking, but in a way, I feel like it was his memories. Like you're talking about, Nikki, you talked about when you get core memories 5, 6, 7 years old or whatever, or 4 or 5 years old. And Joe, you're talking about he was like a toddler, 7 years old or whatever. But he still had memories, and I think it was his memories that did save him and pull him out of the water.
Yeah, because it seemed like the memories that he had was more his older memories. Like he remembered his dad, he remembered other things, but any kind of short-term memory, I
Yeah,
felt like a lot of that he left because a lot of the people that were in the pictures in the ring, he didn't know who they were. But
Right.
when she was like, "Oh, here's your trainer, here's the side guy," and then when they got to his dad, he's like, "That's my dad." He knew his
Yeah.
dad,
yes,
but he didn't know about who his kid was or her name or anything. But it's like he had long-term memory, but all his short-term memory was gone.
yeah, yeah. It just it's heartbreaking. The movie is so heart. It's probably to me. I know it's the ending's not depressing, but I do still think that at least especially my first time watching it, I really do believe that this was one of the, if not the most heartbreaking movies I've ever seen, because it breaks you into pieces, it destroys you, but it builds you up by the end. It does, and it.
And even the way it ended, there's still a long road.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
100%. Exactly. So, yes, I think like okay, so I'll catch up with the chat. Becca had said something. Ellie literally said to me, "How dark is this film gonna get?" It was right before you found out where he put the baby, and it was depressing, but it had a happy ending. I was just expecting a really sad ending based on my preferences. So she's
Right.
not wrong. She knows me, and she knows I like when people die at the end of movies, and it make it really, really sad. The sadder, the better. And so I
I
get
was
it.
just glad the baby didn't die.
Yeah, she was probably expecting the
You
baby
and
to
Joe do
die,
that to people,
him to
make us look
die.
so
So don't forget to slash the like button. What's up, Eli? I think I skipped over.
Eli.
I might have. I apologize. Subdue. Yeah, sub to all these awesome channels. Yeah, right here. What's up, everyone? I don't know if I skipped that. I apologize if I did. Tony says hi, Eli, Uncle Tony. Hey, Eli, bro. Adrian, my guy. Yo, Eli. Jeff, what's up, brother? Yeah, time can do that for sure, and sometimes it's just painful to go back.
Mm-hmm.
Eli, hey Johnny. People are complicated and sometimes it's hard to adapt to the situation.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm.
I just there's another scene too when he's giving the speech and he says, I lost my belt in the water, but it's just a thing. Like it's what does he
Yeah,
say?
it's just a belt.
It's just a
Yeah.
belt. He's like,
Yeah, it's just a belt.
yeah. Oh man, that movie really does get to me. It
Yeah,
was
because he knew the difference of what was important. He just couldn't grasp the pieces of it that he lost.
Yeah, and you
Like,
do see the progress. Like you guys are talking about progress. Nikki, when he by the end of the movie, you remember when he has him hold up the pads, and Becca's
mhm,
literally saying to me in that scene, she's
Yeah.
like, "Why is he having him do that?" Like the mom in her is getting all protective. Why is he having him do that? I get it; he was trying to help, but yeah, that was not the best course of action in that moment.
right.
But by
No.
the end, you see him holding pads.
And he was
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
And he was fine. Exactly. So that was good to see. So there is progress. It just like Joe is saying, I mean, it was like he had to grow up all over again. He had to learn
Yeah.
how to do life again, like as a 7-year-old, essentially. Like a
That's just like someone getting, in an accident where they have to learn to walk again or learn to talk again, or they might not have lost everything, but what they have to relearn has to come in steps. It has to be a process. So
True.
that was the hard part about the fact that you knew it was going to, after you realized it's ending in a happy way, that there's still so much things they have to go through to get him where he was, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
never. So
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to go through the questions?
Let's go.
Okay.
sure.
Let's do it. All right. All right. I got 5 of them. We're gonna start with 2 questions. I think this might be the very first time I'm asking a question about a female character because I feel like we're always sorry, Nikki. I feel like we're always doing male
I know.
movies. So let's get into a female question for once. How were you able to relate to Emma? It's about time Joe and I relate to a perspective of female for once, right? Because you always trying to relate to the guys, Nikki. So I was like, you know what? Let's throw this one in
I
there.
mean, I got
So
5 brothers. I relate to the guys either way. So,
yeah. But Nikki, I'll let you start with this question then.
how did I relate to
She's the
Emma?
wife. Yeah, she was the wife.
I feel like when you commit to someone, you give everything. And I feel like she was that. I feel like she wanted her marriage to work. She wanted to be married with him. She was in love with him. You could tell there was no question about any of that. Now in my marriage, I don't have to worry about any of those type of things. However, when my husband was sick and he was on some really high dosage medication for a while when he lost his kidney, he went through some time where he lost some time. And that was hard to go through. So I did kind of relate to that. We're back now and everything's good now. You know, the medicine is gone and all out of his system, and it took some time to get some of his memories back. Now, he does still have some times where he'll forget a conversation, but it's not like it was 5 years ago. 5 years ago, you would have a conversation with him on a Monday, and you would think you understood, he understood, and the whole conversation was completed. And on Friday, he'd come back and repeat the conversation like it was brand new to him. So that was hard to get through for a little while. So I kind of related to where she was about as lost as him some of the time. So I get that. However, when she came back at the end, like that just made her my hero. So I don't know if I'd ever actually go, especially not after all these years, but I would always come back. So I guess that's how I relate to her, is I appreciate the fact that she let love win regardless.
And now for you don't have a toddler, like a baby.
No.
So I think it makes everything different when there's a baby in the mix that is being
Right.
not taken care of by him. And she's just trying to clean in that moment.
Right.
She's trying to clean.
And had she not been running the vacuum, she'd have heard the baby and realized there was distress going on, but she was just trying to normalize her day.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, you can't blame her for that. She was just trying to normalize her day.
Right. For me, how can I relate to Emma? I'll put it this way. I give you props, Nikki, because me trying to relate to a female character, it's hard to get into that mindset here. But what did it for me was the overstimulation. It's the point of I can't do this right now. And I think I'm guilty of saying that even in my relationship of like being in an argument and being like, I can't do this. And I think it's a lot like what she felt in that moment of I can't do this right now. And I'm not saying to the same level or whatever the point of it, but I'm talking about like,
but you deal with impatience, so you know where her level got to.
Yes, the impatience, thank you, is for me. Some people can handle certain situations better than I can. I struggle with patience, and so I lose my temper very quickly. And like I have a short fuse where I'm just like, no, not right now. I'm done. I'm not dealing with this crap. And so I am trying to learn with that in everything. But I don't know how well I'm relating to her character when I say this, because her situation was terrible. But yeah, I think I could relate to like the breaking point of not knowing what to do.
Right.
Where do I go from here kind of thing? Like, what do I do?
Yeah, because I mean, we all face things at one point or another that we don't have any control of. And she knew she had no control in that situation in the moment. She just had to give it to God. So,
how about you, Joe? How can you relate to Nika?
NECA.
I was like, I was trying to say Emma, and I said Nikki. How can you relate to Nema? Basically,
The only way I related to her, and like I said, it reminded, when I was watching the movie, it reminded me of the mid-90s when my grandmother got really sick and I had to take her in to a house that I owned, and how I had to give up everything to take care of her. I was going to school for architecture. I played in bands. I played in 2 bands at the time. And I had a bunch of friends. I had a girlfriend, and I gave everything up for her, as she did for me when I was 4 months old. That she lost her husband and everything to take me in. So I felt like it was only fair that I did the same. So because I did that for her and I took her in, I lost a lot because of it. But sometimes when things happen around you, you have to be willing to adapt. And sometimes it's a strong sacrifice. And sometimes, regardless if it's a husband or a wife or a family member, sometimes you have to overcome and adapt for it and be willing to sacrifice as she did for him, and even with everything that happened to her and to him, she didn't give up till it came to the point of her daughter. I think if that didn't happen with the daughter, she would have stuck around.
Right.
But because it was their kid, it was something a higher power than her.
Yeah.
So that's where I related to it. When I was watching that, I just remembered the sacrifices and how hard it was doing that for my grandmother, because my grandmother was reminding me a lot of him. Of She was always angry that I had to take her in, and she wanted her independence, but she couldn't take care of herself, and I had to get a nurse because I was working so much to try to pay for everything. So she was always constantly fighting. She reminded me of the lady from Throw Mama from the Train. She was just so angry. That's what it reminded me of. But
That's life goals for me.
yeah, but it's just, you know, it's just sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and I commend her for, she wasn't like the trainee or anything that just gave up, or you know stayed in the house but kind of just stayed away from him. She constantly tried to help him. So
Yeah.
that's how I related.
Prince says Jodie Whittaker, the Doctor, 13th Doctor, and Doctor Who. Consider me intrigued. I don't watch Doctor Who, so.
I watched the
Now, if
70s
Prince wants
Doctor
to
Who.
talk Doctor Who, he's going to have to talk to Jeff. Jeff loves Doctor Who.
Okay, well there you go. I hope Jeff chimes in the chat. How were you able to relate to Maddie's character?
Mm. How was would relate to Maddie's character? Well,
And Nikki,
I don't know, because I don't want to get my ass beat, so I'm not stepping in a ring. So I don't understand that mentality to begin with. But
for me, I think what I can relate to was understanding that just because you got hurt doing a sport does not mean it's the sport's fault. I love running, and I've had my fair share of setbacks and issues, and I've had people ask me, what will you do if you can never run again? And I'm just like, that's not
I asked you that.
Yeah, yeah, you sure have. And I'm like, that's not an option. I'll figure out a way. I'm going to figure it out. But I never blamed running. I always, if anything, said like running was like the first thing I ever truly loved, but also something that taught me so much about life and everything. And so I was always grateful for it. I met a lot of great friends doing it and everything like that. And I'm trying to get back into it. And, but I guess that's one way I can relate to him. I want to say like the forgiveness aspect of forgiving his opponent. I like to think that I can forgive. I hope I can. Forgiveness is a very interesting concept to me as somebody who believes in God and is a Christian. I don't want to get too dark here. I recently had I knew somebody who just died. Him, his mom, and stepdad were all murdered in one night
Oof.
by his ex. Um, he had two kids with her. It was my brother-in-law's best friend, and his mom's best friend. And my mom called me and she's like, "Did you hear little Jake? What happened?" She's like, "He was shot to death." I was in shock because you hear about these things. People are crazy. People do crazy things. But when it happens to someone, it's a totally different story.
Yeah.
And I was working. I didn't end up going to the, like, they had a funeral. I think they, or, but a bunch of people got together and I didn't end up going. And it made me think of like not showing up for your friends or not being there. I wasn't extremely close with him. We didn't talk or hang out, but I did know him very well. And I had just seen him like 2 weeks prior to that, though. And it just blew my
Mm.
mind. My point is about forgiveness is, can you, that being like, let's say his brother, because his brother's without mom now, no brother. When it comes to forgiveness, I hear these stories of people forgiving their, somebody who killed their family drunk driving. And this is a totally different story in the movie, but the power of forgiveness, it sometimes the prisoner that it sets free is yourself.
Yeah. It's
Um,
for you, not for them.
but it's mind-boggling to think how you can forgive somebody for something like that. And in this movie, he forgives him despite what happened. And then I think about, if you are somebody who believes in Jesus Christ and that he died on the cross for your sins, that means we put him there and he died for us, and that's forgiveness, right?
Right.
So, Nikki, you and I are both somebody who believes that. And so I think about that and I'm like, well, if he can forgive for what I've done, then I have to forgive. But it's a mind-boggling concept to me about forgiveness. And regardless if you believe in Jesus Christ or not, my point I'm making though is forgiveness. Like Joe, um, if something happened, you know what I mean? Like trying to forgive somebody, it's a mind-boggling concept, regardless of what you believe or don't believe. But I guess
I have I'm I'm the opposite of you guys that I usually never forgive. I'm like I've said before, I've cut people off for so little. I don't forgive people. Usually some things I can let slide, some things I can't. Some things don't bother me, but certain things, if you cross that line, I'll never forgive you. I It's just how I am. But certain things, like I said, just don't bother me. You do something, so be it. But it depends. It's like I say at work sometimes. Sometimes you take things on a case by case basis. But you
I
know,
get that. I do
but
get that.
most of the time, I'm not a person that really forgives.
Joe,
I'm
can
I
sorry, Joe, I was gonna say you can almost say like the case by case. You could say you got to pick your battles, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It comes down to what it is and how severe it was. Like I said, when when I cut off my two half sisters, it was for something that wasn't really that big of a deal, but I cut them off, and I've never talked to them in 25 years because of it. Was it kind of petty? To me, it wasn't. To maybe somebody else, it would be, but
Well,
it
and
depends.
I can be the queen of cutoff now. I mean, it's a switch. You can flip it, but I still have to work through the emotions in my mind and my soul. So I do tend to forgive, even if I never tell the person they're forgiven. Like,
Yeah, but
you know,
no, I can't. I don't even think that way of, saying to somebody I would forgive them, or even in my head. Like I said, if like what you were saying about that person that you knew, if I could never forgive somebody that did that. I'm the type of person that I would want revenge. I'm the total opposite.
Does anyone
I
watch
was,
the speaking of forgiveness, Joe, and I'm sorry, I've interrupted you
that's all right.
now. I'm watching Shrinking on Apple, and in the show, kind of the plot or one of the plots of the show is the main character in the show, his wife was killed by a drunk driver. And I don't want to spoil it for anyone that does want to watch the show, but minor spoiler here in case you care. He does eventually forgive him, and they kind of end up becoming friends in the show, which is crazy, But I've heard of stories like that, since we're on forgiveness here. But I apologize, I've interrupted you twice now, Joe.
No, that's fine. I was gonna say I could never do that. Uh,
I know it's hard. When I think of that, I'm like, because I agree right here. Forgiveness is one of the hardest things you can do. Don't forget. Forgiveness can take forever depending on the circumstances. It's one of the strongest things you can do. I am a big believer in saying forgive, but don't forget. Just because I forgive you does not mean I forget or want to be friends.
Oh yeah, you get a new place in my life after I have to figure out a way to forgive something you've hurt me with.
Yes,
definitely a different standing for sure.
And I've hurt people too, because hurt people, so to speak. But even talking about, like I was kind of mentioning it earlier, I have friends that I used to have where I still wish the best for you and nothing but the best, but it does not mean that I want to be friends or have you back in my life. I think it is better that we are not friends, but it doesn't mean that I've said hurtful things. That person has too. I've forgiven them, but I also don't forget, and I realize that we're better not being friends.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've actually flipped both sides of that coin. I had a friend in high school that what happened between us was all my fault. Years later, when Facebook came out and I came across her, I immediately sent her a text message, told her how sorry I was. And, I didn't ask for forgiveness. I just wanted her to know that I had thought about that all those years and I was in a bad place and shouldn't have done what I did. And I apologized. We're still friends on Facebook. She still sends me funny cat videos, whatever. Now, another friend of mine, something happened and it really wasn't my fault, but I did ask for forgiveness for it later. And we spoke a few times and then she just told me, no, I can't with you. Done. And we were thick as thieves for 10 years of our lives. And she won't be my friend now. And that's fine. I mean, I'm not forgiven. It happens. But I tried. I mean, I did my due diligence. I prayed on it. I asked her for forgiveness. And she's a Christian. And I thought, maybe somewhere down the line we could fix it. Nope. She said absolutely no, she cannot. I leave her with God. So
And
I can't do
I
anything
think
else about it.
I think at that point, though, you asked for forgiveness and you apologized, and that takes a lot too. So speaking of, what Soulish Trenchcoat said about it being a very difficult thing, I think it's difficult sometimes to ask for forgiveness as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And do I understand what she was upset about? I absolutely do. Was it something I could have prevented in the moment that it happened? No, I was not. Going back to the emotional thing, I was not in an emotional place to do anything different than the way it happened. However, years later, and I mean years later, I contacted her. And, like I said, there was a few text messages back and forth. There was actually a really good phone call involved even. But a few conversations in, she was just like, no, I'm sorry. I just can't get over it. Okay. I mean, that's your decision. So I miss her. I love her. I still stalk her every now and then, check on how her and her kid are doing. And, but I don't insert myself in her life anymore. So.
I'm gonna catch up with chat here. It's extremely hard though, and something I struggle with some people, and I don't think every circumstance calls for forgiveness, which touches on what Joe said. And one of the hardest acts of forgiveness I struggle with is forgiving yourself for the bad things you've done. It's nearly impossible. You can forgive someone, still not be around them. It's more saving yourself from the anchor. It's complicated. I agree, and I agree about the forgiving yourself. It is very difficult sometimes to forgive yourself for things you've done, and I've been there. I've been there. If you were in a bad spot and someone who hurt you bad in the past offered help and seemed sincere, would you guys take it? You don't have to answer if you don't want to.
Say that again.
So if you were in a bad spot, a bad situation, or anything like that, and someone who hurt you in the past offered to help you when you needed it and they were sincere about it, would you take their help if you weren't ever? But Joe, I know where you are because you don't ask.
I wouldn't.
But
I'm very independent. So me, I'm like I said earlier, I'm the type of person that I don't ask for help. I try to do it on my own. So I don't, even if somebody reached out and said I want to help you, I don't take anybody's help. I'm a lone wolf when it comes to stuff like that. That's why I'm bad with consoling people, just because I'm a self consoler.
you know, I don't know if it's a man thing. I don't know if it's forgiveness trench coat for me as much as it is slightly maybe ego and being a man, and we have a lot more pride maybe, and we're also a little bit more stupid when it comes to things like that probably. I'm not saying all men, okay, but Joe knows what I'm talking about. Men are very prideful and stubborn, and so can
I'm stubborn and prideful.
women can be too, but I think for me it would be hard. I hate asking for help, but sometimes I need it. And then when I do though, it eats away at me. Like I don't like I feel bad when I get help. Like it makes me feel ashamed, I think. That
I'm the same way. I don't like, even if I thought in my head, it would be nice to get help. I would feel like a dirtbag if somebody helped me out, because then I feel like I failed
yeah, I
if
don't
I can't do it on my own, and that's just how I am.
there's
And
shame.
I was gonna say earlier one thing. The only time I feel like everything that anybody does, regardless of what it is, I just feel like you did it for a reason. That's how I look at it. And I don't think,
Like there's an underlying
yeah,
gain for them.
it's
Yeah.
like they always say, the path that the road that you're on is a path that has been laid long before you ever went to it. That's why some people have like that deja vu moment, like you've done this before. And I feel like certain times the path that you lead is the path that was meant for you. It's very hard to change that path. And so I don't real I the only thing I ever regret, and I wish I could take back, but I was 8 years old when it happened, was when I was the school bully. And because of everything that was going on with me, I used to just beat kids up for no reason. I mean, I was like, when I was 8 years old, I was like the videos that you see now of people sucker punching people on the sidewalk. That if a
So when
kid
you
walked by me, I would punch him right in the face for no reason.
Joe, when you were in high school, you were the type of person that I hope get tortured and beaten and their balls cut off in movies.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Like I said, in high school, I wasn't like that. In high school, I was friends with every kind of group there was. But when I was in elementary school,
So elementary school, you were that.
when I was 8 years old, when I was my son's age, what he is now, I was a handful, and I'll admit that. I
Pushing the
was,
limit.
yeah, I was. I was that person that most people hated. And I feel bad for the things that I did to kids back then. And if I could apologize and it would make
Let's
people
say, Joe,
better,
you got homework this next month. You got to apologize to every kid you ever hurt.
yeah.
Find them, Joe. Find them. We all want an apology.
I was going to say, because we talked about hair earlier, and I still remember I was 8 years old in art class, and her name was Kelly Cassidy. And I took scissors and I cut one of her ponytails right off to her scalp.
This sounds like
Why? For
Joe.
no reason.
Bob
I
just
did it.
told me a story today about cutting off a little
I
girl's
just
hair at
told
school.
her a story today because I was talking to
Yep.
Becca about she's got a 6-year-old, and I was like, sometimes, you know, when they don't listen, when kids don't listen. Now as an adult, I'm like, I can't take it. You know what I mean? I don't have the patience. But I remind myself that when I was 6 years old, I was worse. I cut a girl's
Yeah.
hair.
I remember. I grabbed the girl. She had sun, like a sunshine. She had a sunshine beret in her hair, and she had ponytails. Her name was Casey Cassidy. No, Kelly Cassidy. And I grabbed her by the ponytail, and I just went right to her scalp. That when she came into school the next day, she had a bald spot right there, and she left crying.
Aw.
And to this day, like I said, this has been over 30 years, and I still feel guilty that I did that. But I was that type of person. I wanted people as miserable as I was.
Well, maybe
So
she'll see this and forgive you, Joe.
yeah, but yeah, but
Yeah, maybe she's
that
watching.
those are the only things I ever regretted ever doing in my life was that. Anything else, I felt like I did for a reason.
Nikki, how
So
about you? Could you take the help if somebody from your past offered it when you hurt them?
I recently have, so I would have to say yes.
No.
I've been in need, you know.
Yeah.
But I also go to that same thing where Joe said the embarrassment, you know. I don't directly ask anybody for anything when I feel like I'm getting to a point where we're out of money and I don't know how I'm going to make trips to my next appointment. I just share my GoFundMe and pray. You know, I would never directly say, "Hey, you got $10," you know. I'm just not that person. So,
yeah, I would. It was just even like when there's times that I get like gifts, not gifts, but like I'll get a birthday card with some money in it or something, and I give it away. I don't even take it because even something like that, somebody giving me a gift, and I'll get like, oh, here's $100, as a birthday gift or a Christmas gift. I'm the first one to. I won't take it. I give it to my son, or I do something with it, but I will not spend it on myself just because I don't know. Like I said, it's that weird thing in my brain of I don't, even though that's a gift, I don't want it.
well, if
I
you're
give it
gifting
away.
it on to somebody else, it's still serving the purpose. So,
Yeah, it's just I won't take it, even though it was for me. It's just I never take them. I'm just that's the type of person I am. It's just I don't know.
Did you
So that's
guys
where I could relate.
did you guys want to go on to the next question then?
Let's go.
Well, before we do
sure.
that, Dell's in the chat saying, "What's up?
What's up, Dale?
What's up, though?
Joe's gonna have the "My name is Earl" list. Geez. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Joe,
All the people he has to pay back.
I'll let you kick this one off, Joe. How do you address emotional pain in your life?
How do I address it? As in, how do I grieve with it, or how do I?
Yeah, how do you approach it? How do you address it? How do you can handle emotional pain in your life?
I'm the type of person that if anything bad goes on, I bottle it in. I don't really talk about it. I really show no emotion to it. And like I've always said, it's one of the reasons why I've always collected movies or music, because it's an escapism for me of real life. I like to get lost in movies, get a tunnel vision of the story, and pretend that I'm there and not in real life. Same thing with music. That's why when I couldn't play music anymore and I couldn't be in bands, it was I had to find a different outlet to try to get through different things. Because, like I said, when I was younger, I was a bully and I liked, similar to Patty, I liked to fight. I could, I like to take a hit. Sometimes I would let somebody hit me because I wanted to feel that pain because it made me feel better inside. So it was just like, when I stopped doing that when I got older and I felt like there was more consequences, I I used music, and after I couldn't play music anymore, I used movies as an outlet. And I always try to find some type of outlet for me to this day to get through that, how I address my emotional things. And right now it's always been music and movies.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
I went to work. That's what I did.
I've been there too, go becoming a complete workaholic.
Yeah. And I've decided now that stressing and worrying over money is probably what caused my condition. So I've just decided I'm going to go back to part time and we're going to live on a small budget. And that's just going to be the way I'm going to live the rest of my life because I am never going to let that control me or the emotion of what I'm losing by not having money control me. I don't
Yeah.
need money. Well, I mean, my house is paid for. What do I need? What do I need, really? I need food,
Well,
electricity, whatever. That's it.
and
Minimal.
that's something we talked about in previous streams. It's like, never let what other people do or what Instagram or people that are your friends, you seeing what they do and be like, oh, why can I have what they have, and try to live above your means to keep
Well,
up with the Joneses, because you're not impressing anybody
right,
with that. Worry about yourself, because at the end of the day, the only person that's going to worry about yourself more than yourself is you. And you don't worry about what you have and what you don't have, and just be able to live within your means. It's like I've
well,
said before, do I have everything that I've always wanted? No. But am I happy with what I have? Yes. Am I upset that I don't have nothing? No. I don't, you know, I'm just happy to have a roof over my head, and, you know, that my heart's still kicking away to be able to take care of the people around me. And that's all I got to worry about. I don't care what the next person, how they see me, or see me for a different reason of what I have and what I don't have.
right.
It doesn't bother me. I don't
I
live for
mean,
them. I live for myself.
speaking of my collection, I mean, I've sold it all over once before, and we were up in over 3,000 movies at that point, and now we
Hmm.
got, oh, I don't know, 1,100 movies or something right now, and that's fine. Like it's whatever. We don't buy everything brand new. We don't seek out things. And if I want something that I know that I really want it, I just hint to my thrifty son who always finds a great deal on everything, and I wait on a birthday or a Mother's Day or a Christmas and I get what I asked for.
Oh yeah.
just give the
Like I
puppy.
said, I've gone from being on welfare, eating government cheese when I was a kid, in roach infested apartments, having nothing, living in bad neighborhoods. With the road that I lived on in Massachusetts, we had prostitutes right in front of our house.
Right.
And I always thought they were waiting for their kids coming off the bus, not realizing what they were doing. and I used
Yeah.
to sit there, drive my bike, talking to them. But and I went as far as having a huge house on 10 acres of land with a couple of cars. I had motorcycles, boats, everything, and gave it all away and started all over again. And I never let materialistic things ever bother me. That's why I never look at people online, the people around me, and go, I wish I had what they had. I'm just
Yeah.
happy to have anything that I can get on my own is good enough for me. You
Yeah.
know, and so sometimes if a curveball is thrown at you because of health or because of other things, and you have to downsize or you have to sell or you have to sacrifice, you should never feel bad for doing that, because you still have what's important around you, and
My
it's not the materialistic things around you.
my husband and I were having a conversation the other day where I was explaining that somebody had really hurt my feelings recently. And I said, well, I'm just not going to lay down for it anymore. I'm not going to let people talk bad to me, and I'm not going to let people hurt me without me standing back up for myself. And I don't care who that hurts. And he goes, me too. I said, anybody outside this body. Like, yes, that includes you too. I love you with my soul, but I'm not gonna let you get by with hurtful words to me ever again in my life. Not that he does, but I'm saying, i- if it comes again, anybody it comes from is going to know you're hurting me with your words. I'm
Yeah.
I'm done laying down for it, because I'm really fighting strong and hard to be as old as the goal. Like, old is the goal. That's my motto in life now. And if I continually let everything that hurts me stress me out and dig inside and eat away, I have found out with where this tumor was placed, over the time that I've been going through this, as I'm stressing, that's where I'm hurting. So I know stress caused this. So I'm just going to eliminate it. Because I'm already emotional about too many other things. Money is not going to be one of them. That is not
A-
my main motivator in life ever again.
and that's why I said on the last stream, I never stress about things I can't control. Anything
Right.
that I can control, I stress about, and I find a way to fix it and fix it fast.
Yep.
And if it's having to sell what I have to sell, or having something that I love. I used to have a really nice Harley Davidson that you know I I loved, that I had since I was young, and I sold it because it's just I needed the money and I had to do it. Did I want to sell it? No, it was the first bike I ever bought. I saved and saved and saved to have that, and even when I couldn't ride it anymore, I never wanted to sell it. I kept it just because it was very personal to me. But
Right.
when the cards laid down, I sold it because I can't let something like that hold me back. And I'm not going to hold something dear like that to me and let everything else crumble around me because I won't let something go. You have to worry about different things. That's why I said I've sold my collection 3 times over, and I would do it again in a blink of an eye without thinking twice if I had to.
Right. Right.
I sold
You
Joe
know,
done the same too. Sometimes it's just different stages of your life, different things. Yeah.
yeah. You have to sometimes, as life goes on, things come into your life or things leave your life, and you realize sometimes other things are more important. Like right now with my son. My son is the most important thing in my life, and there's nothing I won't do for him. So, I couldn't say that 9 years ago.
Yeah.
How do I address emotional pain in my life? Not in a good way. That's my problem right now. Not in healthy ways. I don't. I'm working on it, but I can admit that. My problem is probably I'd probably bottle it up like Anthony talks about the death by a thousand cuts thing. I bottle stress up, and then a couple weeks ago I had some issues, and I was dehydrated, wasn't drinking enough water between the stress, not sleeping enough. It started to catch up with me. At least I think that's what it was. I had a really weird week. I was throwing up. I slept like 20 hours one day, which has never in my life happened. I don't know what was going on, but so I think I have to start addressing those issues before they're not bottling them up, but I don't know. I'm working on it, working through it. Nikki, I don't know if you answered this question kind of or
I mean, how I have addressed emotional pain, I usually just eat it, bottle it up until somebody pushes me over the cliff, and then they don't love me anymore. So
like me. Sounds like me.
And me.
Let me catch up with the chat here.
I'll be right back.
No problem. Pain is pain, and will people will hurt one another, and eventually, if it's so bad, you shut them out because it's too much. Marie says. Grant says, I always look at it in the mirror of how emotional pain it was, especially how now of how my autism and ADHD going through a bunch of suffering. It is still in the pain in the butt, especially what has been happening to my grandmother with Alzheimer's and my grandpa with uh, Alzheimer's, which is forgetting things easily. Yeah, I'm sorry, Grant.
yeah, that's tough right there. Both at once, it's got to be really tough.
All right, we can answer this question here. Do you have negative self-talk when you are dealing with painful emotions? I think I guess it touches on the last question I asked, but yes, I can. Um, Nikki, you've talked to me about this too, but even being in a relationship, like I'm not where I want to be with my weight and everything like that. And you're, I don't like it when my girlfriend talks bad about her body, and she don't like it when I do either. And it makes sense, right? If you care about the other person. And
Right.
but I can also be very harsh with other words like loser and you're stupid and all that stuff to myself. So
Right.
yeah, I can be guilty of negative self-talk. Not even just when I'm emotional or when I'm dealing with painful emotions. It's just in general, when I'm not where I want to be, I think.
I feel like I used to be really bad about saying things about myself. However, going through what I'm going through and all the changes my body is making just due to the treatments, I've lost nearly all my muscle mass in just a very short time. I know it's going to be a hard row to hoe to get back where I need to be strong enough to even go back to work. But I feel like I'm better about not talking shit to myself, if that's because I feel kind of like that's what this question is. And yeah, no, I'm doing much better with that. I'm trying to inject positive thoughts every day on purpose. Like we talked last month, and I said I had those real negative feelings about that stuff in the car that day, and I feel like every day since then I have tried to purposely push positive thoughts on myself because I know I'm going to have a lot of work to do after this. So, and I just don't want to be depressed with it, and I'm working real hard staying out of the depression of it. So,
Yeah, it's easy for you and I in particular, I feel like, to do that. Joe, the question was, do you have negative self-talk when you were dealing with painful emotions? Are you negative towards yourself?
When I was younger, I was. As I got older, no. I don't think negative of myself. I think of the positive attributes that I have or different things about me. Everybody has, as I always say, nobody's perfect. And I think of the good regardless of the bad. When I was younger, I was very negative towards myself because I always felt like something was wrong with me. But as I've gotten older, I just realized that it's more sometimes the people around you that bring that out in you.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you have to cut the cord.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely relate to that that comment so much.
Hmm when I was younger, I had the worst temper, and it was sometimes people knew how to push my buttons, and they worked at those buttons, and it made me hate myself because I let those people bring that out in me when it's something that I tried to keep inside. So sometimes it was better to cut the cord and not let that person out. And
Right.
because of that, I'm a lot more easygoing and relaxing now, and very laid back person because I don't let those type of people around me.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's hard when you have somebody in your life that continually just is toxic to everything you're trying to not be.
Yeah, or brings back old memories. Sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes
Hits
when
that
you
trigger point.
yeah, because sometimes in your life, you're that type of sometimes a magnet for those type of people because of how you are as a person, and you bring that
Right.
negativity in. You have that door open. So
Grant says a lot of times for me, honestly, because I think about other people a lot and see what I want to see, mainly positive things for both me and the other person. I still have an inner demons in my shadows. I can control it now, but back then it was a very hard thing to deal with. Um, this is a very good question from Anthony, and it's something I actually had talked to. Funny enough, Anthony, I talked to Becca about this after the movie was over. Would you guys expect your significant other to take care of you if you ever got brain damage or paralyzed? Anthony,
no,
I want you to answer this question as well. Okay, so he is asking, would you expect? So for me, if anything ever happened to me, I would not. I'm not talking about expecting, but I know that Becca is the type of person that would hands down in a heartbeat. So some people are like that caretaker type of mentality. They love you. They're going to unconditionally, they're going to take care of you. And maybe it's the mom in her as well. But I have, without a shadow of a doubt, I believe if anything ever did happen to me, Becca would. It might be a struggle. It might be hard, but I think she would. And I think that's a very hard thing to do, like what happened in this movie. And I think Becca would, not saying I would expect it of her, but I do think she would do it.
I'm gonna say that when 2 years ago, when I was in on Memorial Day, when I got a piece of metal in my foot, and I
I
was out of
remember
work
that.
for I was out of work for 3 months. I was hospitalized for 11 days, and Bob was the only one who called me every single day when I was in the hospital to see how I was doing. And I remember watching the what the hell did I just watch with you two sitting in a hospital bed.
Yep.
But when I had a nurse here every 3 times a week for 2 months, and when I had to go back to work and the nurse wasn't here, Marie took care of my foot. She was over there with scissors cutting it, and I hate my feet touched, or even, and I don't like feet, and it drove me nuts. But even though it grossed her out, dealing with that wound, she did it for me, even though I really didn't want her to. But I look at it as that was something small. Something like that, what happened to him, because it's life changing for somebody, I wouldn't I would honestly tell Marie, stick me in a home because I don't want to put anybody into that burden to have to take care of me. And I would just and I feel like it would take away from my son. So therefore, for that reason only, I look at it as move on, put me somewhere, and just you know,
So Joe,
let me that's how I feel.
you wouldn't expect it, and
And
don't, you
I
wouldn't
wouldn't.
want it.
No, I feel like if something like that happened, Marie would help me,
I feel
but
like
I wouldn't want her to. If it came to be, if I was like him, I wouldn't want her to go through that.
I feel like Marie's the type though, and has already showed it. She would stay by
She
you,
would.
help you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She would help me, but I feel like that would take away from her, would take away from my son, and I would feel better if she just put me because I even said it when I was watching the movie. She should put him somewhere where people that are qualified to help him can help him. That she was in over her head because of how much she loved him. And I look at it as she was better off putting him somewhere where he can get constant help with certified people. And I feel like if something like that happened to me, that's what I would want. Because I even told Marie if anything ever happened to me and you know like that, just put me in a home, or if it's worse, pull the plug.
That's what I said.
I don't want to pull the plug, cremate me, and throw me in the river. I'm good. I don't want to put any kind of a burden like that on anybody because it's not fair to that person, regardless of how much they care for you. I don't want. I know what it did. What it did with me with my grandmother and the sacrifices I did, and I wouldn't want to put that burden on somebody because it's a lot, and not a lot of people can handle something like that.
Yeah.
So that's how I wouldn't want somebody to do it.
Anthony says Ellie would take care of his crippled ass. I dare I say this, and I don't. Joe, I'm curious if you'll agree with me on this. I feel like I don't want to piss some of the men off when I say this, and I don't know if it's just the caretaker in them, like that nurturing thing. I feel like women would be probably more
Better at it for
better
the motherly.
better at it, and probably more willing, maybe, to do it. I don't want to say men wouldn't be willing. I just think women would be better at it because they're nurturers by like nature, I think.
And a
Well,
lot of
it's
them
real funny because we've had the conversation since I've been sick. And actually, we've had the conversation since before I got sick because my boys are both real squeamish when it comes to that kind of stuff. And my husband said, well, them boys are not going to have you up no hospital bed trying to wipe your ass and take care of you and this, that, and the other. And I said, that's okay because I got you and Bree. And so it is a discussion. The plan is if mom ever has a problem that dad and Bree are the ones in charge of taking care of, making sure mom gets her sponge baths and all that. And
yeah, because like I said, I was gonna say that right before you said that. I'm like, I would, if you want to talk about embarrassment, I would be so embarrassed if I was in that condition and I had to have somebody wipe my ass.
right.
I would want to throw my head right in the freaking toilet, and I couldn't do it because fun fact for anybody, a fact about me, if anybody watching this, I have in all my years of my son being in a diaper, I've changed one, and that was because Marie wasn't home. I can't do it. I can't do it. I am like Vince Vaughn in Four Christmases. I start dry heaving, and I get I'll throw up. I'll be like Reagan in The Exorcist. I'll just be throwing up. I start dry heaving. When I remember a couple times Marie changing his diaper in his room, and I could smell it. I'm in the living room. I can't do it. Picking up my dog poop, piece of cake. On a human, no, I can't do it. I
You're
can't.
not all about them bodily functions.
No, I can't do it. So to do it for an adult, I don't think I could do it. And again, I did it that time for my son, but I was like, my son was looking at me in horror because I was all covered up, with my shirt up in my nose. All you can see is my eyes. I look like a monster coming at him. But and I went through almost a whole thing of baby wipes. I went through like 20 of them because I didn't know what to do. I was losing my mind.
You were not
But
a pro.
no, I was just like, this is so bad. So, like I
It's
said,
funny because I changed a diaper for the first time back in December, like December whatever 30th, I think it might. For a Christmas party, they wanted me to change my sister's kid's diaper, and he's like 5 months old. And they were praying for a complete blowout.
Right.
They wanted me to get, my first time ever changing a diaper, just to have a blowout. No,
That's right. Get initiated right.
just regular pee. But since I started babysitting now on Tuesdays for Becca, I have to change diapers. I don't have a choice. And luckily I got, familiar with it the first time before I ever had to do it on my own or anything. But when she pooped for the first time and I had to change it, Joe, I remember texting Becca. I was like, this is disgusting. I was gagging, and I don't gag a lot of things, but it was brutal. I was like, this is the worst blowout ever. And it was probably just a regular poop, but I was freaking out too. And I did it, but I used like 8 baby wipes. I think I used. And Becca's like, yeah, it's not too many. That's not bad. But she's only done it one more time, pooped, and I was a little bit better at it. I didn't gag, and I was impressed. But I did tell her, I was like, I feel like I'd need a mask, like if I did that every day.
You big
No.
wusses. My mom was holding Jeff when he was a baby, and she was holding him up like, and he puked directly in her mouth.
He pooped?
Puked.
Puked in her mouth? Oh, jeez. At least the baby puke is bad. I thought you were going to say he pooped in her mouth.
Oh.
I was going to say no.
Now, Tristan's mama, when Tristan was about 6 months old, he had a pacifier in his mouth. She come in from work one night, and I had him in his little swing. I was cooking dinner. And she walked over, and I said, I think he's been over there grunting. You might want to take care of that real quick while I finish up dinner. And she reached down between his legs and pulled his pacifier up and stuck it in her own mouth, and it was covered in the puddle he was sitting in.
Oh.
And it wasn't really a puddle. It was like thick dog poo.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I have seen that experience too. I have not experienced that myself. Thank you, God. In her own mouth.
Oh.
In her own mouth.
I was going to say the only thing I saw, and Marie told me about it before we had Gary, because Marie used to be a teacher and she worked at a daycare. That I was because if he peed in his diaper, I could change that, no problem. But she always said, you got to watch out. You got to do it like this, and you got to have it ready because you can have the diaper off and he can pee.
Right.
And Marie it was like the third or fourth time she ever changed his diaper, and she's changing his diaper, and all I saw was a stream shoot right toward the face, and she was like Keanu Reeves in The Matrix, moving away from it. And she hurried up and swapped the diaper down, and it blocked it because he started peeing when she was changing his diaper.
You know what? They told me because I didn't get a new diaper on him right away, and they said the air and everything, the cold air too for a little boy's penis, but they were telling me, my sister said, you better get a diaper on him. He might pee in your face. Like, boys are not predictable, Aaron said.
No.
I'm
Little
fine.
girls too. Little girls too.
Yeah, she's 2.5. Maybe that's it. But I don't worry about her. I never had to worry about her. But yeah, with the boy, they can aim that. That's gonna
Yeah.
shoot at you. So yeah, they say get it on him right away.
Yeah.
Be
And
ready
that's
before you remove the one to have the next one up
the
and
other
going.
one ready. Yeah. Marie always told me, she goes, before you take the diaper off, get the other one, get it all opened up and ready right next to it. So one comes out, the other one goes right in. So you could drop that flop right on top of it
And
before
it was
you
horrible because
I was
with
thinking
Jeff's
about.
little brother, my God, he wouldn't even lay down for me to give to change his diaper. By the time he was 9 months old, he was walking, and I had to change him on the go. So yeah, that's always fun. Learn to do that.
I when it comes to taking care of your parents, though, like my mom's mom, for example, they all agreed we're not putting her in a home. Like we will take care of her. There's 12 of us. Like she took care of us. And I'll be honest with you now, like even watching Becca, for example, being a single mom and everything like that. But even as I get older and I'm an adult and I'm watching the show, like she wanted her father to come live with her as she got older. And I look at this stuff now and I'm like, these kids should be taking care of their parents when they're 90 and can't, like, don't put them in a home. That's not right. They took care of you for 16 years or at least 10 years, kept you alive, fed you, bathed you, changed your diaper. You can't take care of your own mom or dad for now a couple years or 10 years or 5 years. You're going to put them in a home. I do kind of look back at that and I'm like, don't get me wrong. I think there's certain circumstances. I'm not judging people for putting their parents in a home. There's some great, great homes and they do things that you can't do for them. But
yeah.
I do think that it like you
Or
can
when it
help
gets to
out.
the point where it's hospice care and there's no other choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good example because at that point, who knows how much longer they have left? Maybe a bath or something like that. Like you should be able to do that. They did that for you.
I
That's
like
I
like
tell
I
Jeff,
said,
I tell Jeff that when I need something tech savvy done, I said I fed you with I taught you how to use a spoon and pee in the toilet, and I'm a girl, so you can help me with some tech savvy stuff.
like I said, when I took care of my grandmother for, because she was my mom, I had her move in with me and I took care of her for 5 years, all up until the day that she died. Well, she didn't die. I had to sign to pull the breathing tube out,
Right,
and then she
right.
died the next day. But um, I did it for 5 years, but I never. I was in a better position back then that I was able to pay for a nurse that gave her a bath and, helped her with her oxygen and everything else and changed her and all that. I never had to do any of that. So,
But you did do the things that were within your capacity,
yeah, I helped
and
her
that
out.
counts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I did everything that I could. But any of that stuff I never really had to do. I had a nurse that came and took care of her for that because I was working like over almost 80 hours a week just to pay for it all.
I don't know, Nikki. I'm not sure if you answered, but I know that you would take care of Tony if needed. Like you would.
I
And you,
mean,
yeah,
we've been through so much already that yes.
yeah,
I mean when we had gone through the him losing the kidney, not only was the medicine like frying his brain, but there was the tubes hanging out of him and this, that, and the other that all needed to be cleaned and changed. And, so I mean, I know wound care and all that stuff from based on all that. And, if it ever comes again, I already have all the knowledge, but now he hasn't had to do those type of things for me yet. And I hope he never does.
yeah. I'm gonna catch up with the chat and then we'll get into the last question. I used to compare myself to others all the time. I try not to anymore. It's like the old saying goes, comparison is the thief of joy. Anthony says, Grant, that actually happened to me when I fell off a 2-story window and my leg broke, a femur bone at least. Lots of people took care of me, but did not recover for at least 6 months, and it happened when I was 8. So, Anthony says, yeah, Allie would take care of my crippled ass. And Dell chimes in saying, Anthony, I would expect my wife to take care of me just as she expects I would do that for her. However, if I'm at the point of no return, I wouldn't want her to. I'd want her to go on living life. When I say I expect her to, it's because over the years I know who she is and what she would do.
Right.
Yeah. If I was getting hurt physically or emotionally, I would ask for help or be leery of trust. On a lower level, I would do some and have help if not hurtful. I would want the same. And Mama Blu-ray says, John and Susan take care of me every day.
What's up, Bonnie?
Johnny says April has already said no taking care of me. You'd probably do something to deserve it, like throwing a damn steel book at something or someone. My life. Let's see here. You know what? If April had to take care of Johnny, I bet she'd throw a steel book at him.
Right.
That killer goat steelbook.
Killer
Yeah,
goats.
throw it at Johnny when he's being a pain in the ass. She might even still do that to this day, right? He says that is true. Can't even look. Hi, Johnny. Hey, Bonnie. Hey, Johnny. It's amazing what you can do when you have to.
That's
Joe
it right there.
almost baby wiped his son to death.
Yeah.
He was trying to wipe his ass off.
Mhm.
I changed plenty of diapers, no poop in my mouth. Thank God.
Right on.
Yeah, if you're basically a vegetable, then I totally get telling her to move on. Boys notoriously pee as soon as the diaper opens up.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's terrible. Yeah, it's the air, right?
Well,
It's the cold
and
air.
Yeah.
and my goddaughter was the queen of the moment the air hit it. And that's why I say girls too, because my youngest goddaughter, oh my God, you'd take her diaper off and there'd be a stream just like a boy's.
Jeez. That's wild. Last question of the night. Do you feel like physical or emotional pain steal joy or time from your life?
Ooh. Absolutely. Yes. That is precisely why I say anything else that's harmful to me is not going to be laid down for anymore. So absolutely yes.
Yeah, I think physical pain for me even as I get older even, and I know I'm not like that older or anything, but I'm just like injury prone. I just every time I try to get back into shape and start going to the gym and working out and everything like that, even emotional pain, there's just always something that seems to creep in and like prevents me from being able to do it without some kind of pain. It always seems to be something. It's just like, can I ever catch a break? But that's just life. Sometimes that's life. You got to keep going. And I'm learning that and realizing that, and I'm doing my best. But yeah, I think it does somewhat.
Yeah.
Joey Two Strikes. What about you?
For me, physical pain, no. It doesn't take the joy. I just look at it as this parts of just getting older. You know, I deal with some pain and stuff, but I just again, I'm resilient. I try to muscle through it. I don't let it ruin my day or ruin any part of my day. And at this stage in my life, I don't let things take happiness away from me. I'm easily ready to cut that off just because I don't want for that to creep in to ruin what as people say, the back nine of your life. I want to enjoy what I have left, so I'm not going to let things like that ruin my joy. So no, not anymore. When I was younger, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was reading I'm reading Anthony's review on Journeyman right now. But yeah, he talked about the bedroom bit when she's touching his face and everything like
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, that's everything. That's the last of it. So let me catch up with the chat. Just the one comment here from Mama Blu-ray saying, I have a lot of physical pain. Thankfully, I do have a lot of meds. Yeah, and meds are just one of those things where sometimes they come with these side effects too, and it's frustrating. So it's all.
Oh, the fit I threw about having to get any type of meds with all this that was a fight. I mean, I'm 100% against anything that's unnatural. And this is only half. And every time I swallow one, I get pissed off. Somebody asked me not too long ago about pain medication because they had me sign up with a pain clinic when all this started. I had a real bad infection from the first chemo. And so I did get a bottle of Oxy on January 2nd, and it was 12, and I still have 6. I don't take pain medication. I don't like it. I don't even like swallowing pills. So pain quill, liquid Tylenol, 1,000 milligrams, that's the easiest thing I take. And I would rather have that than a pain pill any day of the week. The steroids they have me on, I've gained 30 pounds. I feel like a lard ass. I don't like taking them either, but I know how sick I am when I don't take them after chemo because I tried it. Yeah, no, we won't do that again. I will finish the meds because they're what goes along with what it goes with, but no, half of this stuff is for nausea and this, that, and the other. I've had a pretty good rock gut through most of this. Haven't been super sick. So I have most of it. I have most of it left. Almost all my bottles are still full. I just don't. I go take the chemo and it makes me trip like I'm tripping on some type of drugs I've never tripped on. And I don't like that. And I've never done those type of drugs. I didn't have any idea what a trip was. I know people who do it, who like it, who enjoy it. I've never eaten a mushroom. I've never taken acid. I've never done anything like that. So I know nothing about that. But I know when they put that chemo in me the first time, I had visions I should have never seen. But no, I'm doing it because it's killing what's killing me. So that's the only reason I'm doing it. I don't take medication otherwise. I fought tooth and nail not to have to bring half of this stuff home. So
Yeah, I'm like I said before, when I have, every time I've had pain medication, I never do anything stronger than Tylenol.
yeah.
I've had morphine in the house. I've had Oxy, Percocets, Valiums, and I've never taken one to this day. And honestly, and I still feel like this, but as time goes on, maybe things will change. But I've always said, even if I get something like what you have, that I won't do the treatment.
Well, I mean,
I'm,
I
I'm,
told my husband the first day that the word cancer got said, I said, well, I'm not doing fucking chemo. You can kiss my ass. I'll die with this. And when I went in and met with the oncologist, I met with a big team of people, and they told me that there was a brand new regimen to start. And I didn't know that I was going to be the first patient to try it. I
mhm.
found out this past week that this was all brand new. Within 48 hours of the study closing, I was one of the very first people to be put on this regimen. And the amount of shrinkage and miraculous work that it's doing, I told my friend who's having lung surgery and having a piece of her lung removed tomorrow. She's having 20% of her lung removed tomorrow. Don't be scared. That's all I can
Eh,
say. Like, don't be scared of it. Let it happen. Do what you got to do because this regimen is working for me. If they tell you you have to do it, which they have not yet said anything like radiation or chemo for her, but I told her if they tell you you have to do it, just do it and get it done. Like,
I,
you know,
I, I was gonna say for me, I don't think it's the regimen or anything like that. I just don't think. I've always just said I just wouldn't do it. I looked at
see,
it
I
as,
said the same thing.
I looked at it as, if I got it, it was meant to be, and so be it. And it's not to do with the regimen or the chemo or anything like that. I just don't. Me myself personally, I would just let nature take its course, just because of I'm. It's not that I'm anti medicine or anti, you know, medication. If I have to take it, I do. But it's just, I just don't think I want to go through it. You know,
And
that's
I
about.
thought,
I'm just saying, to each to every, for everybody. Like I said, maybe one day that something, if it ever happened, maybe it would be different because of my son and everything. But
well, I was on the phone
I've
with
never really thought about it after.
I was on the phone with someone and I had them on speakerphone, and my granddaughter was sitting here with me and she heard the word cancer for the first time.
Hmm.
Prior to that moment, I had no idea what I was going to do about any of this. There was no, I didn't even really have a doctor yet at that point. But the look on her face made me know I had to fight it.
Yeah.
So Gary will look at you that way when he hears that word, and you'll fight it.
Yeah. Because I looked at it as that if I ever got that prognosis, I don't think I would ever tell anybody.
I
I would
get
just
that
try.
too.
I would just try to hide it and just let, again, just let it happen, and nobody would ever know why end all be all came, because I would
And the
never
thing
let
was,
anybody know.
I don't know how long I was sick because I had been telling my brother and my husband for over a year. I'm too tired to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm too tired. I'm too tired. I'm too tired. And that's really all I was. I just kept saying, I'm just exhausted. This is just too much for me. I gotta slow down. I gotta stop. I gotta quit working all these jobs. I gotta figure something else better out, And then the pain started,
Hmm.
and because I started stressing over the fact that I didn't feel good.
Hmm.
And once I realized where the pain was and why it was happening, like, yeah, I didn't have a choice. And I'm not one that goes to the doctor. I mean, like, I don't even, they assigned me a primary care physician when they gave me this insurance. I haven't made an appointment. I don't even think I need that. I just need to keep doing what I'm doing. And, you know, when this is all over with and I'm allowed to get, my teeth worked on, I'm going to deal with that because I'm eating my teeth every day. That's the worst part of this whole thing, especially in the last 3 weeks since the radiation started. They're
Hmm.
just crumbling, falling out. So once I get my mouth fixed, I probably will just do my yearly checkups to make sure my cancer doesn't come back. And that's going to be probably how I live because that's how I've always lived. I just
Yeah.
don't go. I don't want people poking and prodding. I don't want them feeding me full of a bunch of medications. I don't, none of that.
Well, I was gonna say, when I got hurt 2 years ago, that was what, 2023.
Hmm.
Before that, the time that I went to the hospital was January 1st, 1996, the day of my motorcycle accident. From
Right.
1996 to 2023, never went. I looked at it as, I woke up, I feel fine, I'm good. And I never went. And that's when I, in 2023, is when I found out I was diabetic. And the only reason I found out was because of my foot. If it
Right.
wasn't for my foot, I probably would have never knew. I would have just kept on dealing with, you know, diabetic symptoms that I was getting. And I had a inclination about, well, um, I felt like maybe I do have it, just because I started seeing, infomercials for diabetics, and, oh, do you have this? Do you have that? I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But because I didn't go to the doctor, I just like, I'm not gonna worry about it.
Well, the worst thing's going to be for me is now my husband's like, well, women need checkups and you're going to be doing this. And he's getting kind of
Yeah,
bossy about it. And I'm just like, okay, well, guess I kind of got to give him what he wants. If I want to be here, I guess I got to make sure I stay healthy afterwards. So,
but
I'm gonna catch up with the chat and then ask the chat what movie we could pick next. I might
all
put
right,
Allie and Anthony on the spot a little bit. I have a lot of physical pain. Thankfully, I have the meds, and it was a family decision of what to do with me. Mama Blu-ray says, with
good.
and I believe John. My friend's sister had cancer and went to more herbal remedies, and she lived longer than she would have with chemo. The fact that the solution we have to cancer is blasting people with radiation is crazy.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you what, I was feeling rough after that first chemo because they gave me some wow kind of chemo the first time around. Now I'm on a different chemo, but the radiation's what's messing with me now because it's targeted. So, and the last part of it's going to be really wild. So we'll see what happens. But I am not liking the radiation, and I got to do it every day. So.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have a whole opinion. We've discussed that before, Nikki. Jeff says, Joe, that's how my father-in-law approached his cancer. It was hard for whichever left behind. For now, I'm home, but I do want to go to a home if I ever feel like a burden. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, Bree's dad told them they had cancer and he was gone in 4 weeks.
I know that's a conspiracy theory. Slightly, mostly Big Pharma wants to keep us sick, no money, and healthy people. But
That's right.
I completely agree with it, and I know some people won't like it. But I know we've talked about certain cures for certain things, and it just does feel like I know cancer has 1,000 different. There's so many different cancers out there, but
Yeah.
sometimes I do wonder about certain things like Alzheimer's or any of these friggin' diseases out there. You know, it's like, do we really? It's been how long and we don't have a cure? I do actually agree with that. I think there's just too much money in. Some people might not like me saying it, but it's true. There's too much money in people being sick to be given cures, in my opinion. I just, whether they have it or they don't have it, a lot of diseases cost people a lot of money and make hospitals a lot of money. I do believe that. And if everybody
when I got the prior to getting the insurance, they sent me a bill a week or two before I got ready to go for this first round of chemo, the very first one. And they sent me what was called a good faith bill that I would have insurance or start making payments on it, whatever. I opened that sucker up and it said $1.3 million, and I about lost my mind. And then I'm looking at it and I'm telling my husband, I'm like, wow, this is $1.3 million for these treatments. Da, 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 da. And then you get down to where it starts telling you this is quantity 1, and I was scheduled for 3, but then they gave me 4. So I've had over $5 million worth of chemo put through my heart.
Yeah,
it's amazingly crazy. And then I'm on a website where I'm reading what these people are talking about cancer, and this guy's talking about getting chemo treatments for $150,000, and I'm like, that better be your copay, asshole, because I'm about to cuss you out, you know.
Yeah,
where the hell are you getting that at? Mexico?
When it comes to health insurance and even car insurance, for example, I was just talking to Becca about this, but what drives me nuts about health insurance, and I'll get onto it about car insurance too in a second, but health insurance, you pay monthly a premium, whether it comes out of your paycheck or not. You might go years without ever getting hurt, okay? And then you go into the hospital and you get hit with the bill, and it's like, well, what am I paying health insurance for? I'm still getting hit with the bill, whether it's 80/20 or whatever it is. It's just, I can't stand that. In car insurance, for example, okay, very similar. I just think health insurance and car insurance are the biggest scams and jokes I swear, in America. Auto insurance. Let's say Nikki was 30 years old, okay, and she's now 52 years old. 22 years, she never got pulled over, never got into a car accident, not even a fender bender. Paid $85 a month in car insurance for 30 straight years, 22 straight years. All of a sudden, she gets into a fender bender and hits somebody one day. Now she's got to pay $500 deductible to get her car fixed. She just paid 22 years straight of insurance. I in my mind, I'm thinking, just use the damn money I paid you that you just stole from me for 22 years. Use that to fix my damn car. Okay, like I didn't get in an accident or pulled over for 22 years. Use all that money I sent you to pay for my car.
Right.
I was gonna
My son
say,
and his wife were here a couple weeks ago from Florida, and they went home and they bought a real nice 2017 Jeep, not too far back, but because they're making payments on it, they have to have full coverage. They weren't home from here a whole week and the damn engine blew up and they're still having to pay like $2,200 to get it fixed. And that's just the out of the pocket.
I was gonna say this happened recently to a guy at work. He has a house with a couple of outbuildings, one of them being a big barn on 26 acres. And he had State Farm insurance for 31 years for this property. And the barn collapsed due to a storm. And the insurance sent them a check after fighting it for 30 something thousand dollars to rebuild the barn. And then State Farm dropped them right after they sent that check. And he's like, I've never filed a claim with you guys. I've paid every month my homeowner's insurance. And then the first time in 32 years I file a claim, you paid it with tons of hesitation that he had to fight it. And then they dropped him right after.
That's it.
That he had to go to a different homeowner's insurance.
It's
And that
just
happened.
it's ridiculous. I just think it's like insurance in general, whether it's homeowner insurance, auto insurance, medical insurance. I mean, you name it. I truly believe it's just a big ripoff, man. I just think they scam. I just think they take advantage of us
Yeah.
and rape us over the coals, man.
Right.
Not listening to me for like 2 years. Hashtag trust issues. Marie says, I agree with that, Bob. Mama Blu-ray says. Trenchcoat says, I'm not saying pills and don't have their place, but a lot of the time they should be a last resort because they're band-aid fixes. But
That's it.
pushed as the only solution again.
That's what I don't like about pain medication because it just makes your mind think you're not really in pain and you still really are.
I talk about that a lot. Like I like ibuprofen and Advil and all that stuff, but it's just masking the pain by eating two pills. I have refused so many tests. What good are they? We know what they're gonna say. Trenchcoat says, but they're like drug dealers pushing the drugs on people instead of other solutions because one, it's harder to work with a person than push drugs in their face, and two, there's more money in drugs. Absolutely.
That's right. And a cured patient is no longer a customer.
Anthony's right. John Q, excellent movie, and it does cover.
I love John Q.
I might watch John Q tonight. That might be what I watch. I was thinking of a movie to watch.
I was gonna say I just watched it maybe like five months back.
I love that movie. They especially like pushing these drugs on kids with ADHD and the like. Again, not saying that drugs don't have their place, but I don't think we should be putting kids on all types of drugs without trying other methods first. But again, there's more money in there. No better than the pushers on the street. So speaking of ADHD, I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was younger. I think they put me on Ritalin, and I hated it because it did a couple things. So it made me like a zombie. So I was a rambunctious kid. My dad knew that. And you could ask my dad if he was here right now, he would talk about it. Like it wasn't even his son living in that house because of the way I acted. It was a pain in the ass to deal with me and how my behavior was and how hyper I was. And I struggled in school mightily, paying attention, all those things. But it was like when they put me on 88 Ritalin, I wasn't even their son anymore. They would cook, and I like to eat. I've always liked to eat. I had no issues eating. I would not eat, and they would make chicken and mashed potatoes, all the stuff I love to eat that you could pour me 4 plates. I wouldn't eat. I had these tics where I would move my jaw side to side, like go like this, grind my teeth and move side to side. I would come in a room and turn the light on like 2 or 3 times. I had these little OCD tics, and it was all from the Ritalin. And as soon as I stopped taking it, I went back to normal. So sure,
I moved my children out of a school district because the school would not let my child go there without being on Ritalin. And when I said, well, it turns him into a zombie and you're not going to have my child turn off. It's not a button. It's a person. and they got pissed off. So I just left the school district.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's even like something I said to Marie with like kids shots and everything. And now we're going like deep conspiracy theories, but with kids with shots when they're younger and everything, it's like when I was a kid, there wasn't really any kids allergic to peanut butter or allergic or
Right.
gluten free this or I'm allergic to this and allergic to that. I never heard of that stuff till like late 90s, like mid 90s, early 2000s, like peanut butter started. And now all this gluten stuff is going on and all this. And it's like, I don't remember that when I was a kid. Nobody had that. And now it's like
Worst thing I ever remember my
one
kids
out of
having was
10.
asthma.
And it's like 1 out of 10 people are like that now. And I feel like a
Yep.
lot of it has to do with, you know, all those shots that you have to take when you're a kid of them constantly trying to update it. And it's like it helps one thing, but it hurts you in other immunes. So
Right.
I don't know.
I could get a little bit into conspiracy theories, some not big ones, but as far as the cancer and medicines go, I'll definitely get into those conspiracy theories because you developed. Oh boy, you got me going down a rabbit hole now. But we developed a vaccine for COVID immediately, but we can't for other diseases out there.
Yeah.
Um,
And you can go back to Roman history and read about diabetics, and there's still not a cure for my son taking a shot, however many damn times a day. I mean,
Mhm.
he's got the pod now, thank the Lord, but nevertheless, it's still, he has to pump fake insulin into his body at all times to be alive. And why? When there should be a cure for a non-working pancreas.
I mean, I won't argue with people like that say I'm wrong or I'm getting a conspiracy theorist. I get it, but the whole COVID thing really gets to me because I'm like, that was pretty quick. And I know they said, well, that was developing for years and ages, but we could go on a tangent
Yeah.
for hours.
Yeah.
I'm back, guys. I just did a live stream, and look, I got vaccinated. I did. I look back on it now, and I wish I didn't, but I also feel like I'm fine. But if I could take
I
it, I would have.
I was made to by work, so
Yeah.
I didn't have a choice.
See, and Joe and I normally you would think we're the two types that never would, and I normally never would, but I kind of, once again, a lot of our jobs were like you have to. I hated wearing a mask, so when our state said no mask if you get vaccinated, I followed the rules. Then I found out all my clients at the gym, none of them were vaccinated, but they weren't wearing a mask anyways. But you couldn't ask them. And
Right.
then 2 weeks later, Pritzker, our governor, comes out and he's like, "Yep, back to mask mandate." And I was like, I literally got vaccinated because of that. I didn't care about COVID as much. I wanted to stop wearing a mask. And our job was like forcing it. Without forcing it, they were doing all but forcing it. So I was like, okay.
Well, I was still working the restaurants during that time. And so I always kind of thought we should be wearing masks just for the pure and simple fact that we're sweating over people's food and we're talking and communicating on the line. You got spittle. So it didn't bother me to wear the mask so much as it did the driving restrictions and the bullshit that went along with closing the store and running all your food through the drive-through. And like, that was the craziest to me.
Yeah,
It's like,
it was pretty crazy. 6 feet apart and stickers.
Yeah.
Only
Yeah.
X amount of people in the store.
I
I
was gonna say the thing that used to drive me nuts was the one-way aisles at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I hated wearing a mask.
And some of our grocery stores, like a few months ago, put them stickers all back down, and I was like, "Oh no, we're not doing this bullshit again." And then a couple weeks later, they were all gone again. So I was like, "Okay, I don't know what that was all about." But
yeah, I saw they came out with a new COVID variant, and everybody was like, "Yeah, it's the midterm election COVID variant."
Right, exactly.
Trying other methods, but first, again, there's more money in there. Yep. Oh gosh, I lost my spot here. Let me see if I can find it. But yeah, I hated wearing it because at the gym it was a pain in my ass. Mama Nikki, how's treatment, by the way? Going very well.
It's going great. It's going amazing, miraculous.
Sorry, I didn't mean to just derail your passion about the subject. You're passionate about the subject. No, that's fair. I mean, I understand. And some drugs help kids, but you should do your natural methods first and try to understand that. the kids, then the drug last resort if all else fails. Yeah, I think, I mean, you could say that about even physical therapy too before going and, getting shot up with something. Like, do everything you can naturally to try and fix the problem or the solution, like you said. And I don't think
Right.
powerful drugs like Ritalin and the like should be given out to children like they're candy. Yeah, well, they
I
should.
always thought Ritalin was an adult drug until they tried pushing it on my child.
Yeah, I was like 12 or 13. Joe, did you like Submarine? Because Bob didn't. 1 star, but that's okay. Masterpiece for me. Respectfully trash for him. Yeah.
I haven't seen Submarine yet.
Yeah, he did. It was a movie swap we did.
Which one was that?
It was the one you picked. I think you gave it a 0.5 star or 1 star.
Submarine. Oh, I remember what I liked it.
No, I don't think so.
That was the one with the girl and the boy, the British film.
Yeah, that was that.
Yeah, I like that one.
Oh, okay. Maybe he did.
I was the one who picked that movie.
Yeah, he picked it. I got his. I'll see. I got his. All of his ratings in a notebook. All like 70 we've done. The thing that kills me the most is that they forced all essential workers to go into work with no extra pay or anything. Meanwhile, anyone who worked on a laptop got to chill at home and work. Facts.
Yeah, because I
And
had
guess who was
I
an
had to work
essential
through it.
worker? Was fast food people. What the hell?
Oh, you want to know
Like-
what pissed me off too? I got going back on my soap here, but talking about people working from home. I was at a family party a couple years ago, back in 2021, when Biden administration was, in office, and gas prices were like up over $5 an average, which they're increasing right now too, but still not as bad as they were in 2021. And everybody has the right to complain about gas. I get it. And I chose what I do for work. You know what I mean? But I remember being at a family party and everybody that worked from home was complaining about these gas prices. Keep in mind, they fill up once per month and they were crying about gas. I was like, I fill up every single 2 days. And you guys are complaining about gas prices. Like, shut your mouth. You work from home. You don't even leave your house. And I remember my one uncle was like, well, who are you to say we can't complain about gas prices just because we work from home? I was like, because you guys don't even know what it's like to be filling up every day or every 2 days. And we got into a whole thing. So, but yeah, that was the whole working from home. It's like the most convenient thing in the world. You could even help with your kids if you're at home working from home. I know some people would say it's not all convenient, but I don't know. You could wake up 5 minutes before work, roll out of bed, and just go downstairs and start working.
In your pajamas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'd say working from home was extremely and still is extremely convenient. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think working from home is great. Like, it's awesome if you can do it. But
I don't think I would want to do it. I think I would become really lazy.
essential workers.
I went out yesterday for the first time in several months by myself, and I had some paperwork I had to turn in to a couple different places that the doctor had to sign off on. And I went by my job and sat and talked to my girlfriend for a while. And it was the most amazing freeing time I've had in months, just to turn my phone off and sit in the office at my desk and talk to my friend. It was great. I don't know if I could stay at home forever. That's why I say I'm planning on working again. I'm just not planning on work being my life again. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, one of the questions I was going to ask, I just didn't ask it because I was like, it doesn't fit tonight's stream. Maybe I'll ask it in a future question, but it was going to be about, do you live to work or do you work to live? Because I think that's some people's problems, is that they're living to work, they're living to work, and that's just not a fun way to live.
it's not what the human experience was meant to be.
No.
No.
Somebody had told me once, back when I was working at Got Junk, because my body would get destroyed at that place, was we grow up, we go to school all day, every day, pretty much, finish school, get a job out of high school or whatever, out of college, work for the next 40 years. And then by the time you finally retire, your body's broken down anyways, and you could barely have fun and enjoy your life. And then you die.
That's right.
It's kind of true.
Well, I told my
The-
husband, we've been talking a lot about my emotional state through all this, and I've been trying to hold it together pretty well. I've had my days, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say I haven't, because I've had a few real good breakdowns. But at one point I just said, it's one of those things where if I'm not gonna enjoy anything and I'm gonna stay pissed off, and I've been pissed off since 2010. And it wasn't because I was mad at anybody in particular. It was because I was mad that our lives changed so drastically when he got sick, and all the looking forward to the things and all the plans that we made, because we had our kids so young and they were all going to be out of the house, and we were going to have time. Well, that time got stolen when he got sick. And so I got mad about it. And I've been mad for 10, 15 years, and it's like, I got to get over that. So now I'm not going to be mad about it. Now I'm going to learn to appreciate and enjoy, because I'm done being mad. I'm done being upset. I'm done being frustrated all the time. People, kids working for me, I would have a bad day at work or whatever, and I would just be like ticking off had every last one of them for whatever reason, and they'd be like, it's time to chill out. And I'm like, look, I'm just eternally frustrated today, and you're just going to do your job, or I'm just going to fire you. And I didn't realize how much
I
that
like
stemmed from being mad.
Anthony said blue collar workers should have been paid white collar money during COVID. Thank you. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Anthony. Agreed. Nah, F that I work to live. No, fuck that I work to live. Yeah. Beck says, I worked from home for 5 years. It was tough a lot of times, but it did make it easier when childcare fell through. Sometimes I miss rolling out of bed and going downstairs to my desk in sweats. Exactly. I'm not saying it wasn't hard, but I do think it had to make things like, I think there's the challenges, I'm sure, of when you're working from your home versus in the office. That had to be harder. But as far as like a convenience factor, it had to be 1,000 times easier. Like,
It was
more
one of those
convenient to
better
work.
adaptions. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not saying yes, it was convenient to be in the office, but you didn't have to leave. And like she said, you could roll out of bed and go downstairs in sweats. Go
yeah.
downstairs, your whitey tighties if you want, or whatever, whatever
And
you
I was gonna say, it's not like when you're working from home compared to working at a job. At a job, you're constantly working because somebody's always watching you. At home, you had the convenience of, oh, I can work for a little bit here, a little bit there. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then they started getting smart and giving you work laptops so they can watch your progress on, that your keys are moving and your mouse is moving. But then people made apps that you can put on your laptop that shows your mouse and your keyboard moving when you weren't really sitting at it. So,
Right.
that people always found ways around it. So it's just like, it's convenient for certain things, but as always, it's like even recently, a lot of the people from California that moved to Texas during the whole 2020 incident, and they were working from home. A lot of them last year had to move back to California because
Mm-hmm.
they couldn't work from home anymore, and they had to leave Texas. So, it's sometimes things
Yeah, when
change.
the government did that, when Trump went back in office, everybody had a meltdown because he said that, either you show up back at your office or your computers and whatnot, they're not going to work for you from home anymore. We're
Yeah,
just going to cut it off. Come back to work or you don't have a job.
I hated seeing people working from home complaining about anything. I was like, y'all have it so easy. I was like, you get to work from home. Quit your complaining. Like, you're getting paid money to work from home. Stop. You
hmm
could there you go get lunch when you want. You could order food. You could put a movie on in the background and still work if you want. You can, yeah. To not even come, gas prices are too high to not come with the slipcover.
Amen, brother.
Well, the system trains you to be drones with no free thought, serve the machine, and die while telling you to be an individual, but then punishing you it's a thing. That's my belief, at least. I agree with honestly everything you were saying. I do. So um Anthony's laughing at the comment about gas prices with the slipcover. Okay, get back on a happy topic. One of the things I'm looking most forward to about Tennessee next weekend is when Johnny and myself and Jody are talking about like second sight and group buys and all these collector's editions. April, maybe Brie a little bit, and Becca are probably all going to be sitting there like, I don't know what they're talking about. And Becca's going to be like, it's okay. I don't know either. But Becca's getting more familiar.
I mean, Bree and April have had a little bit more time
They
to
do,
understand
yes.
the
And I
boutique
feel
and
like
the yeah.
Becca, because she watches all these streams, even if she doesn't comment because she's an introvert and shy, but she is watching them all and she will literally like start asking me like what's Vinegar Syndrome. If you told her to go find a Vinegar Syndrome movie on my shelf, she would know where it is and what it is because of the logo on the side.
Right.
And she would know what Arrow Video is and all this stuff. So like Becca kind of knows.
She's catching up quick.
She is. She asked me the other day. She's like, "Did you know that Death Ship is getting a 4K from Kino Lorber?" I was like, "What?" I was like, "How do you know that?" I was like, what are you looking up?
She's doing the research for you, Bob.
Yeah, she's like, "Have you seen it?" I was like, "I used to own it. I got rid of it because it wasn't my type of movie." But it's just kind of funny. So her goal is to actually know. But I'll tell you what, I'm just going to use the word. It's kind of extremely sexy that when your woman doesn't know about this stuff, starts to learn about it.
Yeah.
Like I could do it. See, so it's
You
kind of
go, girl.
awesome when they start to learn. You know what I mean? And they're like, "Yeah, that comes with the slipcover, dude." And I'll be like, "Your eyes just get the googly eyes," like that GIF of the Lego piece just being like, just watching and it just zooms in and it's making love. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know. Anyways, that's all. That's all tonight. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys 3 options. Maybe we should let Allie and Anthony pick. We should put them on the spot. So, Allie, Anthony, Becca, anybody else in the chat? 3 options. We can do family and talk about Instant Family, the movie Instant Family.
With Mark Wahlberg.
Yep, Mark Wahlberg. We could talk about loyalty and discuss the movie The Town, or we could talk about Basketball Diaries and talk addiction.
I love that movie.
Yeah,
Another Mark Wahlberg.
Another Mark Wahlberg, and that's a heavy, heavy topic. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so let's see here. Bob, I watched one of your videos about downsizing your collection. I think it's time to dump some titles. Lots of Kino and Vinegar Syndrome I just won't ever watch again. Some I haven't even opened. Yeah, I ended up I didn't know if he was telling me to do it, but I was like, I did downsize a ton of Kino and Vinegar Syndrome, but yeah, I get it, dude. There's just so much because Kino and Vinegar Syndrome put out so much stuff. And like it's a hodgepodge of a lot of different stuff. Vinegar Syndrome, a lot of the same stuff, but unless you're into those B horror movies, like Joe, you're kind of into those, so you like them. But even you probably wouldn't collect all those garbage Vinegar Syndrome.
No, because I would have never got the subscription service. With Vinegar, Severin is like to me the bottom of the food chain of there's not much I like. And then Vinegar Syndrome, and then Arrow. Out of all like the major boutique labels, Kino is the one that has the most films that I like, just because they release so many of those 80s style movies like DC Cab and Gotcha and you know, V.I. Wachowski and North Shore, and those are all movies that I loved when I was a kid. So because of that, it's something that it's a label that I love collecting for because of a lot of those movies. It reminds me of when I was a kid.
Anthony and Ellie have spoken. They said The Town. Anthony says the town loved that fucking movie.
Oh, figures.
I vote loyalty. I'm overdue for a rewatch. And Becca says, or hear me out, Harry Potter theme. Triumph over good over evil.
There we
You're
go.
gonna force me to watch those movies. I
There
don't
we go.
want to.
Did I see Becca?
Right there. Dobby right there.
Yeah. What do you got?
My Dobby right there. Hold on. We got. Where is he? He's right.
Terrible.
My life-size Dobby Chamber of Secrets movie prop.
Oh my gosh.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
I said Becca, you're fired, but they're all saying Harry Potter is fired too. Hey, I was just talking VI Warshawski with Tim. I don't know who that is.
That
What?
VR
With
Wachowski,
Kathleen Turner?
It's a movie. It's a movie with Kathleen Turner. It's
You
good.
know.
Huh.
You know. Is Dobby free?
But I haven't heard anybody mention it in years.
Is
so
Dobby
maybe
free?
that's why I was
Dobby
like,
is free.
Kino releases so much they're bound to have something for everyone and a lot for nobody. Or a lot.
Exactly.
I meant a lot for. Yes, you're right. Something for everybody, but a lot of stuff that not a lot of people are interested in too. Where
But
I'm just buying for the slipcover.
I was gonna say, out of everything,
Here is
the
great.
biggest label that I collect is Cinedyne because of my Hallmark collection.
Yep, Hallmark.
My Hallmark collection is the biggest collection I have out of every label, and that's Cinedyne.
Dobby is free. What? I don't even know what any of this stuff means. That's awesome, Joe. You know what? Becca did say that she would join for a live stream for one of these streams one day as a guest. If we picked a good topic. You know what I'm thinking for Becca?
Harry Potter.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. No, I don't even know. What are you gonna do? Wizardry? That's gonna be the topic.
No, we could do it on friendship and bond and.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Bob, we need to have some happy feelings too. Not everything is horrible in this world.
No, but you know what? Instant Family will be a good one, and we could get back on there because she's a mom, so she could talk. You guys could talk all about your what it's like to be a mom. I don't want to do Harry Potter because I'm not going to watch it. I would watch Harry Potter, and I will watch Harry Potter someday with Becca. I will. Okay.
I was gonna say she better make you.
Yeah, she will.
And then after that, I want to see a ranking video.
Of all of them.
Yeah.
That's like
it's all one story, Bob.
No,
That's
I just
why I haven't dived into it.
I don't. You don't have to do Fantastic Beasts. I'm just the first 8 films. That's it.
You'll like the back half of the Harry Potter films because they get darker as they go along.
I was gonna say the first 2 are more kids, and they had a different director. But once you hit the third one, it's more darker tones, and it's a lot more adult. It totally leaves the kid realm.
And who knows what's going to happen now? Paramount got the rights to Harry Potter, so I really wish Disney would continue releasing Family Guy and American Dad on physical media. They stopped in 2017 when they bought Fox. Becca says, "Truth, Nikki, you are going to watch it. Prisoner of Azkaban is the best." Sorry, forgot.
It is. See, I agree with her. Prisoner, because I am a huge Gary Oldman. I love Gary Oldman. He's my favorite actor of all time, and he is in Prisoner of Azkaban. That's always my favorite.
I will give him a shot. I'm open-minded, but it doesn't mean I'm going to like them.
But you can't just watch the first 2. You have to go like 4 deep.
Okay, I watched all the 7 screams you could watch Harry Potter. You know what? But Harry Potter.
Oh, there you go.
You know what, Becca? The Scream movies were good, and they're not 6 hours long. Each.
What? The only Scream movies that are good are 1 through 4. And fun fact, 4 is my second favorite.
Are you saying you didn't want to watch all 7 Scream movies, Becca? Marie said, "Joey showing me movies I can't see. Don't do it, Bob."
He said scared for life.
Stars for life. Are we
Scarred for life.
talking like Martyrs and Cannibal Holocaust?
Oh yeah, and Beyond the Darkness and Serbian Film and Salo and Grotesque.
Poor Marie. Harry Potter,
Oh yeah,
Prince of Azkaban, or whatever the heck it's called, is probably the best book to me as well. Gary Oldman was amazing as Sirius.
Sirius Black.
Pretty easy.
I was gonna say on my mantle I have his wand, Sirius Black's wand.
Yeah, I am a fan of the Black Christmas 2006 remake, but definitely not the 2019 one. Oh, it's like the worst movie ever. Scream 4 is excellent. I agree.
I love Scream 4.
First 4 Screams are good. 5 was kind of meh for me. Watch Battle Royale, dang it. I do need to see Battle Royale.
Battle Royale is so good.
I do need to see Battle Royale. That one, I need to get the 4K from Lionsgate. Yeah, I've never, for people that are new in the chat or don't know me as well, I've never seen any of the Lord of the Rings or Star Wars movies.
Because Bob doesn't like fantasy.
I do not like fantasy. So it's
just or possessed films.
It's just like I don't like ranch dressing on food. So it's one of those things when you don't like fantasy, you're not going to like any of those things. I don't like any type of no mustard, no ranch, no.
Yeah, but I even me, like we've talked before, I hate period pieces. I do not like watching any kind of period piece, but I do like Braveheart. I do like Robin Hood. I'm not big into war films, but I like Full Metal Jacket. I like Apocalypse Now, but most war films, I think they're boring. Similar, to I can't stand westerns, but I like Young Guns. I like, Maverick and stuff like that. But Pale Rider, The Unforgiven, no. I rather poke my eyes out with a pen.
Joe, does Half Blood Prince suck?
No.
One of the weakest ones for Trenchcoat, he says.
No, to me the weakest one, because it's very dialogue heavy, is Order of the Phoenix.
Take care, everyone, especially Nikki. I'm listening in the background. I think that's our cue to wrap things up. Marie said she's out, so when Marie leaves, we all leave. Maybe one day we'll figure out something to do with Harry Potter. It probably won't be one of these, but maybe we could do like a franchise ranking.
I was gonna say, if you ever want to do a franchise ranking, or you actually maybe it'll help you watch it. You want to do a watch along? I'm down.
Probably not a watch along. I'll leave those with Corey and Johnny. But Corey, Johnny, Nikki, you guys all do those. Well, Nikki, you don't, but you're always in the chat.
I've done a few with them. I haven't done
Jeff too.
I think
Jeff does them too. So, but I'll watch them one day when she forces me to and sits me down and straps me to the couch and doesn't let me leave. She better feed me. That's gonna be the rule I make with Becca for this. Is she's gonna have to get like cookies and monsters for me to like sit down and do it. That's the deal. But once that happens, maybe we could get a panel together and do like some kind of ranking.
Yeah, because as I've always said, Harry Potter is the best franchise ever made.
To watch all 8 on stream. You haven't seen Audition. I do need to see Audition, Prince.
Auditions are great.
And Arrow just put that on in 4K or announced it. I feel like there's always one where you may like the genre, but there's usually one film from that genre that you like, or may like the genre. Disney needs to release 4Ks of Home Alone 2, Jingle All the Way, and the Santa Claus on 4K. That would be great sellers. They just need to start releasing most of their Fox catalog. A lot of gems. That's a fact. Seeing Santa Claus, Jingle All the Way, and Home Alone 2 would sell very well. There's 100%, absolutely would. Yeah, he wants me to watch all 8 on stream. About 24 hours. You could fit them in if you go back to back, right, Joe? It's like 23 hours, 24 hours.
Yeah, because I've watched up to 6 in one day. I've never done all 8, but I've done 6 in one shot.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I watched one or part of one in high school, and I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah, but that was the first ones.
Yeah.
You like I said, if you go 4 deep and you don't like it, I can understand. But like I said, the first ones are more kiddish. Once you go into the third and fourth, you get sucked
Yeah,
in. I got sucked in from the beginning, but
do you know which house are you? I was the same one as I
I'm
don't.
Slytherin.
Yeah, I like that word though. I bet you are Slytherin, Joe.
Yeah.
I don't know. You'd have to ask Becca what I was. I did the extended Hobbits and Lord of the Rings on stream continuously. It was crazy. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a lot. Yeah, the stream went off the rails as always.
As always.
But we're gonna
That's what we're famous for.
Yep, we're gonna do the town next. We'll do loyalty, and that'll be a good one. We'll try and get a couple guests for that one. Maybe do it a little different. Expect the town to be a long stream, a very long stream. So, just a heads up because it's my favorite movie of all time. I was Hufflepuff.
Before you schedule it, hit me up because they're scheduling my surgeries pieces of this. The last part of this is like a day surgery type of deal, and I gotta have 5 of those. So before you schedule it, I may have to ask for special privilege to have that one scheduled around me. So.
Okay. Yeah, I mean we'll discuss with you probably Tuesday, probably second week in May or third week in May or something like that. So about a month and a half from now.
Currently on the schedule for the first 2, they're trying to do
maybe I wasn't
April 29th and May 1st. So we're far out from that, but I'm supposed to have 5 over those next 2 weeks. So we'll
Becca,
see.
where'd you go? Am I a Hufflepuff or what am I, Becca? We did the test. I don't know what I was. But good stream, guys. Sorry for derailing again. You didn't derail. Even Becca was like, I derailed the stream. You're good.
We always derail. Sometimes we get back on track. Sometimes we don't.
Oh, it's Gryffindor.
Gryffindor.
Yeah, I'm pretty cool. I think Gryffindor is the best, so at least I'm cool like that. Yeah.
Well, it is the same house as Harry Potter. So,
Prince, you want to pick a movie? I got a movie for you. Go watch Pretty Lethal. It's the one I watched last night. Go watch that, or go watch Housemate. Just watch Pretty Lethal, Prince. I think you'll like that one. It's on Prime Video. That's everything. So Town and Loyalty will be the next one. I will try and get some. I'm very excited about that one though because I get to show Becca my favorite movie of all time. So that's fun. That's entertaining. She did show me her favorite movie of all time.
What is it?
I already forgot the name of it. It was Henry Cavill was in it. Jim Caviezel. It was from 2002. What the heck was it? It was about revenge. I can't remember the name of the movie now. I'm blanking on the title. Becca's gonna kill me. Oh crap. Oh boy.
You're fired.
I am fired. She was fired earlier for her comments about
Revenge?
It was a revenge movie. I'm trying to find it. Hold on. Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh, the Count of Monte Cristo. Okay.
Look
That
at
is a good movie.
Prince on the Prince. I'm proud of you, boy. Get it, boy. Nicely done. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm gonna watch the extended cut of The Town because
Jeff's gonna have to bring his over for me to see it because the only way I have to see it is that.
I always watch that cut. It's what he intended, the director, Ben Affleck. It is about 25 minutes longer. Unfortunately, the 4K is only the theatrical cut. So I always watch the Blu-ray of it because I want to watch the extended cut because it's just 23 minutes longer. And it is like I have a collector's edition. He wrote a whole letter of why he made the director's cut and what it means to him and like everything like that. And there's a couple scenes in the director's cut that changed the movie a little bit. You're late. Prince already said it. she might be behind. I remember 1 second of your movie mind. But yes, she says. I think she said she's excited for The Town as well. So
I mean, I've seen the theatrical version several times. It's been quite a while, so I'll be real interested to see that.
Anthony, I won't tell you if you have the Blu-ray though. Check out the deleted scenes. There's an alternate ending that's pretty crazy. It's quite different. It ends up with something happening to Ben Affleck at the end that's different than the theatrical cut. So you should you should totally check it out. I was kind of surprised by it. You know, deleted scenes and extended cuts though are so interesting to watch because they're not edited. There's no music, there's no nothing. It's just the camera filming it. So they're not like, edited. So when I watch them, I'm like it's hard to like feel it because you don't know how it would play into the movie because it's just a scene by itself. So yeah. Oh, that's what I was going to say about Harry Potter. There's a big giant snake or something like that. He's pretty cool.
That's in the second one.
I don't know his name. I forget it. What's his name? Joe?
What?
I said, what's the thing's name? It's like a lizard or a dinosaur.
Yeah, it's a snake, and you're asking me way too late right now.
Joe said his brain is done working, Bob.
Yeah. Anyways,
I've been up since the crack of dawn.
However you.
Yeah.
However.
I can't even say I can't even say it right now because I'm just tongue tied.
Yeah. I don't know. He looked pretty cool though.
He is. That's in the second film.
Yeah. Here, hold on 1 second. I'm going to do something. Becca will be proud of me for this. Here we go. There we go. That's what he looks like, right?
Yeah. That's what a snake looks like.
Shut up. Yeah. He's pretty cool. Yeah. It looks like Harry Potter kills him.
Spoiler.
And you can't look at him, Becca said. Otherwise, you die. I was like, well, why is Harry Potter looking at him then? Why is he able to? Because he has special powers that he gives him the ability. Give me my wand, Tom. That sounds just so corny. All right. I love when Harry Potter stabs Tom Riddle's diary. I'll watch him. Anthony says I'll check it out. We're almost at 3 hours. I was just trying to go up to 3 hours on the dot. So, anyways, Nikki, talk about what's going on in your life anytime soon, and if you wanted to say anything before we leave. Joe's half asleep, so I'm not going to ask him.
I've pretty much told everything coming up. I've got a few more treatments left, and I'm 12 into the radiation of 25 of those treatments. So tomorrow will be my halfway hump. And then after that, we do the other 5 treatments in May, and that's it. That's all I got.
Prince says, Joe, have you seen The Rip? No, he hasn't because it's on Netflix. Joe doesn't have
Which
Netflix.
one?
You don't have Netflix. It's on Netflix. It's with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon.
No.
Oh, I've heard. I watched an interview with them about that. Oh my God, I want to see that, but I don't have access to Netflix either. So
it's really good. It builds like incredible tension. I just wish it had more action because I thought it was setting up to be like epic, and I was like, it's still an excellent movie. I was just expecting like an all-out action, and it wasn't like that though. So don't go into it expecting a bunch of.
They're getting older, Bob. We're in our 50s now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But yeah. Anyways, that's all. That's all for tonight. I'm either gonna go watch John Q or I don't know, Daylight or something. Daylight sounds like a pretty good pick tonight too.
With Sly Stallone. It's a good one.
Yeah. All right.
How about if you watch Harry Potter?
Get the freaking out of here.
He's gonna save those and watch them with Becca.
Yeah, she would kill me if I watched Harry Potter without her. Literally murder me. Probably. Maybe. I think so. Yeah, she would. Yeah. I would have done the same.
You got to sleep sometime.
If she watched Scream without me, I probably would have done the same too, though. You know, there's just some movies you're not allowed to do that. It's like me
Right.
watching a Hallmark movie without Joe. It's a big no-no.
Yeah, that's a no-no.
All right. 29 seconds and we will reach 3 hours. So everybody go watch The Town if you haven't yet seen it. Come back and check in whenever we schedule another live stream. And yeah, I'm gonna try and get some surprise guests on that one. I think I'm gonna try and do like a panel of 5 or 6 and make it like a 12-hour live stream. So yep, it'll be fun. Cool.
Oof,
Oh, boy.
okay.
All right, everyone. See ya. Have a good one. Bye.
Have a good one.
Later.